Where on your chance to win $1,000. Just enter the nationwide keyword Bills at foxsports910.com. That's Bills at foxsports910.com.
The Parker and Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For your Monday, look for mostly sunny skies. Temperatures in the low 90s for today. And then for tonight, we'll continue with those clear skies with those overnight lows dipping into the mid-60s. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Roc. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And always online at lernerandrow.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. On Fox Sports 910.
It's officially baseball season, folks. Welcome in. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from Casino, Arizona in the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Hope you're having a great Monday. I'm getting a little feedback if that's okay with you guys. You can fix that as we are live here. And we will be here till 4 o'clock. And, of course, it's all Suns today. Sadly, it is all Suns. We'll throw in some draft talk as well. But Timberwolves finished them off yesterday with a 122-116 win. We all know that now. And now we get to talk about the offseason. We get to talk about, is it Bogle? Is it getting rid of Booker? Is it getting rid of Durant? I'm going to make a case for Booker that maybe it's time for him to leave at some point. It won't be a favorable take, I'm sure, by most fans, but it may be the one that may make this team get to a championship at some point. But a lot to get into, and, of course, the big question will be today, who is responsible for this collapse? And that's the poll question, our State 48 Roofing It's Your Call question. Who is responsible for the Suns' collapse in the first round of the NBA playoffs? Now, Manuch writes the questions, and I will ask you this. Don't you have to be on top to collapse?
Well, they collapsed from the regular season. They
finished in sixth place in their division.
Okay, they
49 wins.
They totally collapsed in this series.
No, they didn't. You would be up to collapse.
Oh, well, they never even they went 0-4. They were 0-4. They never even. So the way they ended, they won 7 out of the last 10 games to get in number 6 spot.
Okay.
What they did, they hit the playoffs. That's a total collapse of the team.
Total collapse?
Yes.
A collapse is usually somebody in first place most of the year.
No.
They fall apart. They barely squeaked in to get the playoff spot.
But they
should be fortunate. If this was any other given year without the expectations, not a bad year for the Suns.
Well, I just felt for them to finish the last 10 games, the toughest schedule in the NBA last 10 games, and for them to go to the playoffs and just look disoriented, disheveled, out of place, uninspired. For me, in my vernacular, I felt that they collapsed from where they had come from. And, for them to have that run and to see Bradley Beal get it, I mean, they were like, okay, they get it. So for me, in reference, I saw this was a collapse for them to go 0-4. I mean, against the Timberwolves, I know the Timberwolves, better team. I get it.
They're a better team.
You would have thought they'd win 2, or maybe on Friday, a must-win game. They win that game, but Minnesota wins it going away again.
Suns never led that game.
They never led. Not one time. Not one time.
Friday.
Not one time. And then again, their historic fourth quarter collapses. They allow the Timberwolves to score over 60 points in the second half. They can't keep up with them. All of a sudden, they get a little lead, and they throw 2 passes. They throw 2 passes away. Then they give up an offensive rebound. For me, just for that scenario where they were ahead, I was like, okay. And on top of that, you beat this team 3 times by 13 to 15 or more every time.
But we all know yesterday's game was going to be a loss in most cases. It's never happened before. 150 plus times a 3-0.
151-ish, something like that.
No one's ever come back. So
I know, but
they had already made their plans. They've already made their plans to go to Cancun or Galveston.
They came out with the effort. They came out with the effort. No, I felt initially, where was this effort or desperation the first couple games? I mean, they're like, okay, we have to win this game we get it. If you don't win it, you move on. But I mean, again, it just seemed like things caught up to them again they talked about the details and this and that. I'm like, really, guys? I mean, you should have had this figured out maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago from your details and understanding this and that. Two statements. One from Book. The details matter. Really? KD, we got to make sure we're on the same page with details. I heard that twice. Guys, you guys are quasi superstars. You guys are stars. You would think that would be figured out, unless the disconnect went deeper than I thought that we may have.
Let me just say this, and I picked up on this in game 1 of the playoffs. I disregarded the Suns winning the 3 times that they played during the regular season. I didn't pay any attention to that. But after game 1, when they got blown out, the key ingredient for me was Mike Conley, a veteran point guard who, even though the Timberwolves are young at a couple of positions, Ant-Man is only 22 years old. He is the guy who leads that team. For the Phoenix Suns, they have no leader. They have 3 stars. Neither one of them are leaders. What is Kevin Durant right now in Brooklyn? It failed miserably. He couldn't lead. At OKC, they lost in the finals, but they had a point guard in Russell Westbrook at that time, which Durant didn't have the pressure on him. So what did Durant do? He took a hiatus and went to the Golden State Warriors, where he didn't have to lead. He just had to be the best of Kevin Durant, and he was. And since that time, things have deteriorated. This team has no leadership qualities at all. When the players are on the court, the coach can only do so much.
So, to your point, Rock, will there be major changes? I think James Jones, if he's even still around after this debacle that we saw, they've got to make some changes to address why the disconnect, why nobody's paying attention to details. It hurt them not to have that proverbial point guard.
Grayson Allen being out.
Grayson hurt them.
That hurt.
If you look at all the games he played this year, which was 95% plus, it ran through him.
Yes.
Yeah, he may not have been the lead scorer in all the games. He did lead the league in pointers. We all know all the numbers. But he's what made that freaking train run.
Yeah, he got
with
it
this team.
He got it going early on.
He was also their best defender.
Yeah, I mean, he may not have been the point guard, the quarterback on the court, but I don't know. I just think him being on the court did make a difference with these 3 other big men, or not big men, the big 3, I should say.
Especially when your big 3 only 2 out of the big 3 getting to double digits. And Bradley Beal, what a debacle of a game that was yesterday.
And he showed he didn't want to be there. He already booked his plane ticket.
It was hard to watch. It's so much promising season. Yes, the way they talked between games too. I don't know. It just there's something was a disconnect. I don't know. Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Maybe.
I mean,
so let me ask you this. It's not a popular take. Okay. We love Devin Booker.
Mm-hmm.
All right. He just signed a 4-year extension, $201 million back in July of 2022. He is on the hook to make $53 million or whatever the numbers are. We all know they're big.
Right.
Okay. Give and take whatever website you're on. He's a superstar. We all know he's a superstar. But one thing that at least I hate with the NBA, players dictate where they want to play in the NBA. I don't think in the other 3 major sports, a guy can get up and say, hey, I want to be traded, and he gets traded. It happens in the NBA. LeBron, we go down the list, Kyrie. Every superstar that wants to get traded gets traded, and it's always before their contract is up.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it is time for him to step up and say, hey, I gave this 9 years. I've been here long enough. I can't win here. Maybe
3.
It's time for me to go somewhere else.
I do not have a problem with that whatsoever, because you're not going to get that much if you try to trade Durant. You are, and you can't trade Bradley Beal. Nobody is taking that guy's contract and the way that he performed this past season. So he also has a no trade clause. Booker is the key ingredient. If indeed you were going to unload him, you would get the most for Devin Booker.
Exactly. And there's been some talk, some rumors of David Griffith, the former Sun GM or assistant GM, who's in New Orleans. There's a deal out there for CJ McCollum, Trey Murray Jr., who is a superstar in the making. couple future picks because Suns have no future picks.
That's right.
And for Booker. And we've seen what he does in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Boy, the guy puts up some serious numbers when he plays in New Orleans.
Sure.
Not that he wants to live there. Atlanta's another team that has been rumored that could make a place for him.
I also heard the New York Knicks would love to have him and that he would have interest in going to the Knicks. I'm just not sure what the Knicks could offer up in exchange.
And guys, it could be a two-way street. To your point, Rocky's probably felt, look, I've done all I can do. He might say, look, this isn't working. I've been around it. I want to win. I want to win it all. And he might talk to his agent and say, look, let's look at opportunities before we go to the Suns and say, here's what we're thinking. Because you got to give him the loyalty factor for him to stick around during the bad times and good times with all the stuff going on. And he's probably sitting there thinking, well, look, we got beat by the Nuggets last year, the last 2 games, and they fired our head coach over there. Monty Williams got fired. We get swept by those Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm doing all I can do and look at his future moving forward. So at that point, I as long as they make moves that are going to help this team go to the next level or grow. Do you think this team's going to grow, stand pat as they are now next year?
No.
I don't think they are. I mean, they're going to be as they are.
But if you're a superstar, how long do you give your franchise? 9 years, Book's been here.
He has, he went to one final.
And if he
went to one final.
Yeah, okay, but if he went somewhere else, I mean, you look at some of these big-time stars that got drafted by their team, played their first few years, either they got out of their contract or they were traded before their contract, end up going somewhere else, they win their championship.
Well, I think that's what he's going to have to decide. I think he's done more than enough for this franchise. If he just said, I want to go in and move on and hopefully it works, I'd say, hey, God bless you, Book. You did a hell of a job for us.
Can you make a case that the organization has tried to find pieces to work with him and it hasn't? You bring in the top 5 guy in the league in Durant.
Yeah.
You bring in Beal, who's a top 25 guy, and they can't make it work.
I don't know, Jimmy. I thought the most balanced team they had is when they took on the Bucks in that NBA title. That was as good as you're going to get.
I'm with you.
With one of the top, Hall of Fame point guards of all time.
But who was the star of that team? Devin Booker.
Well, Booker was, but where was he those last 4 games in a row? He faded.
He faded down the stretch. I agree, and they also lost Chris Paul. So that was what did them in. And Milwaukee just played great. Giannis just had what was just absolutely sensational.
Top headlines are brought to you by the Sportsbook here in Casino, Arizona. Bet the game, watch the game, Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. They got 3 live betting windows. They have 6 self-service betting kiosks, plus 8 screens displaying all the betting lines. So check it out for yourself here in Casino, Arizona. Well, it's our G2G Protein Bar Awards next. Charles Barkley made the cut along with Bradley Beal. It's all coming up right here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B here on Fox Sports 910.
Tomorrow on the Clear, there are Suns fans that believe trading Devin Booker might be the best thing for the future of the Suns. I'll tell you why that is 100% wrong, and keeping Devin Booker is the right decision. 6:05 on the Drive, Fox Sports 910, and your free iHeartRadio app. There's something that binds us all. The constant hunger to improve. The obsession with every detail. And the reward of a custom fitting, taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by 2 words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Vans Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
Are you looking for a change in your career path or just looking to get back into the employment market again? Look no further. All City Towing is searching for motivated teammates to join their team. Current openings are in the areas of customer service, tow truck operators, yard management, facilities maintenance, and dispatch. If you're looking for a challenging yet rewarding opportunity, a great benefits program including 401k program with a generous company match, and a company that is a leader in the industry, apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call All City's HR department at 480-833-7278. All City Towing is Arizona's largest towing transport vehicle storage provider. Locally owned and invested within the communities they service. If you enjoy helping others by providing great customer service, working as a team, and possess great communication skills, All City is for you. Apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call 480-833-7278. That's allcitytowing.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
You give and you give. It's time to get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a Samsung Galaxy A14 included with the activation of a Silver Unlimited plan. So you can give your janky phone to your kid.
Switch to Straight Talk. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Requires in-store activation. Device offer ends 6/9/24. Taxes and fees apply.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ziprecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free.
Back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, broadcasting live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is a sports fan's paradise. You are locked in to Fox Sports 910, live from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. Who needs a G2G protein bar? Did your favorite player make a big mistake that cost them the game? That's impossible! That's impossible!
I'm telling you, there's something inside his brain about this building.
Or maybe just an embarrassing moment.
You know, it's just easier to call you stupid.
Roc, Manuch, and Jimmy B react to the dumbest plays of the week and give out their best candidates for the G2G Protein Bar Award of the Week, a refrigerated protein bar with unmatched taste. G2G Protein Bars are now available at coffee.
All right, Manuch, start us off.
Oh, man, we're going to get a lot of stuff going to this Phoenix Suns team, especially when Bradley Beal. Game 4 last night, 4 for 13 from the field. 1 from 5 in the three-point shooting. 6 turnovers. Yeah, 6. 6 fouls. He fouled out in that third quarter. And he only had 9 points. Only played the 31 minutes because Frank had to somewhat protect him. You already got your Grayson Allen out of the game. And he's out there running amok. Just no consistency whatsoever. So he's my G2G player award. Also, the other two, that being the other two of the big three, aren't going to get away from it. This stat I saw after the game last night, that the big three in the plus-minus category for this entire playoff, minus 51. Minus 51. This is the worst plus-minus for any big three or top three players in the history of the NBA playoffs of all time. So I'm going to get a couple of cases going to one Devin Booker, one Kevin Durant, and I'm going to supply them for the entire offseason. So they are going to be in this position next year whatsoever.
Let me ask you guys this. What is the definition of a big three?
Well, your big three, they're stars. You're all-stars, you're superstars.
Who anointed Bradley Beal as the big star at number 3?
One of the top scorers in the league, all-star, talented, comes to this team.
But where is that
plateau
bar? Somebody that's a reserve all-star is considered is a star. Somebody who played for a team that sucked for so long, he's the star because he's the only one that knew how to shoot the ball. I mean, where do you determine he's the big three?
You got a Hall of Famer, Kevin Durant, that's there. You got Devin Booker.
Those two, okay. Right. I'm just
perennial all-star and Devin Booker. Okay.
Well, he makes two's easy, but what's the third
one?
Bradley
Beal.
Why?
Coming in here
Why?
Because of his scoring, his ability when he was healthy.
Defense.
Well, scoring and defense, but his ability once he was playing with the Wizards, he was on. So if in my mind, you get the big three, those are the top three, some of the top 3 players that failed. And from the standpoint, Jimmy talked about lack of leadership. They failed immensely as far as out there. So those G2G protein bars, I hope come in effect next year.
No comment on that, Jimmy B?
Well, look, all I'm going to say is this. The contract that Bradley Beal has also contains a no-trade clause. You're not going to get anything for him because teams do not want him. You are stuck with Bradley Beal. That's my comment.
The NBA is a joke when it comes to contracts. They really are.
They have
I'm
done
sorry.
the players that tail's wagging the dog big time.
Big time.
It has been for
horrible.
a lot of years.
So Charles Barkley, this is going to be courtesy of TNT. 3 clips. I think they're pretty funny. Charles Barkley talking about the Pelicans. They don't deserve to go to Cancun. If you may have heard me earlier that, I think Bradley Beal and the rest of the Suns yesterday had already booked their flights to Cancun. However, Charles didn't think that the Pelicans deserved to go to Cancun. He felt that they should be sent to Galveston, Texas.
Disappointing on us. Where they going, Chuck? Galveston. That dirty ass water. We're not even gonna send them to Cancun. We're gonna send them to Galveston with that dirty ass water be washed up on the shore. You people think they're in the beach. Y'all okay? We gonna send y'all to Cancun. Y'all drive y'all quit. Drive your ass down to Galveston. Come on, man.
So they're not taking a little.
Come on, they didn't even try, man. No, we're not getting them no plane ticket to the beach. We send their ass to Galveston, Texas, right where that dirty water washed up on the beach. They can't even get in the water.
All right.
I've been to Galveston. It is not clean.
He go one step further on this. And if you recall many years ago, he got beat up for his comment about San Antonio women, that they're all
Yes, he did.
big and old and So that actually came up just right after what he just said.
I don't want the beehive and Jay after those. I apologize. I do not want the beehive and Jay after me.
So how do you like Galveston now? It's beautiful.
We're not going there. Would you go on vacation?
You got a
Oh,
chance.
hell no, I ain't going on vacation.
You've got a chance to wipe the slate clean
You
here.
got to say, I would go to
Galveston.
tell you something. That water's so dirty, I'd rather go to San Antonio. I'd rather go to San Antonio with them big old women.
Chuck's the best.
He is.
And then Beyonce's mother hears all about that. So then Charles kind of has to do a little moonwalk and apologize.
Miss Nose, I don't want that smoke. I don't want the beehive and Jay after Chuck. Miss Nose, I apologize. I do not want the beehive and Jay after me.
Great stuff. All thanks to TNT. So there's my G2G Player Award from the weekend.
So you think a case going to Charles?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Mine
Charles would
is-
love the G2G.
He would.
Oh,
Yeah, my G2G moment is for the Coyote fans here in the Valley. Please, just stop. Stop thinking that they are going to return in Sun form. It is not going to happen unless he sells the name and the likeness image to somebody else and the NHL approves it. Look what happened when the Coyote players showed up in Salt Lake City. They were met by over 5,000 fans at the airport. Then they went to a rally downtown with 15,000 fans at the arena. They have over 29,000 orders for season tickets. 29,000. The Coyotes, if they sold out the mullet for 6 games, it would take them 6 games to get to 29,000. Stop. It is done. I've seen your comments online. Oh, it's going to be great. They're going to come back. No, they're not. So, with that being said, and the Yotes officially gone, the fans of the Coyotes all deserve a G2G protein bar.
And this just in. Wait, let me get this right. Let me read this right.
Okay.
Jimmy B no longer with Roc and Manuch.
yeah. Jimmy,
We are the people of the Yotes.
Yeah.
I know you are.
And you just blasted our fan base.
I did.
Jimmy.
Divorced.
Yeah. Don't you think the fans should have some time to grieve
It's over.
and look at it?
It's over.
The body's not even cold yet, and you're slamming the
It's
Yotes fans.
over.
Do you
It's
realize
over.
what they've been through?
I know.
So you would say, if you were
Wow.
doing local talk radio in Minneapolis
Yes.
many years ago when they lost the Stars to
Yes.
Dallas, would you have
Yes.
said the same thing?
No, because it
What's
was
the
different. No,
difference?
it was different circumstances because they moved to Dallas and they did not have an idiot owner.
Okay,
like
what about
the Yotes
Winnipeg?
have
Winnipeg
right now.
lost their team and then they're
They
coming down
did,
here.
but why did they lose their team? They could not get a brand new arena
But
built.
they ended up getting one.
They
got one.
They
There's
were
hope.
They were flound. Yes,
Doesn't matter.
How long? How many years was it before the Atlanta Flames moved to Winnipeg.
And it's
how long was it?
And you look at Morello, he hasn't decided one way or the other.
Oh,
You're already throwing dirt on that. Jimmy, where's your heart, man?
I have a heart, but I'm honest. I say what my eyes see.
They just pulled the plug. Fans are still in mourning.
Paint's still wet.
Jeez, wow.
2.
Heartlessness of the Yotes after all they've been through. Rock and I have been down this road. I don't blame them. You got to have hope that maybe Morello does bite, and then he does reinvigorate this, and the Yotes.
Suns fans, they just got swept.
Yeah.
4-0.
Yes.
You should tell them to just jump off the bandwagon.
Absolutely.
And start rooting for the Lakers.
Yeah.
Go find another team.
Go find another team.
Jimmy, you better make sure your address isn't
it's
officially
not
there.
listed.
I want to give your freaking cell phone out right now.
I'm kidding, man.
That's what I want to do.
They're
I want to give Jimmy
like,
his cell
this
phone.
body's not even cold, and you're hammering the fan guy. You can't blame him, Jimmy B.
Jimmy B's got a Hotmail email.
Yeah.
So if you Google it, you'll find it.
You can find Jimmy B in Sun City.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's just a little. That's a
little much, Jimmy.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Motivational Monday.
Yeah.
Motivational Monday.
What are you talking about? We're killing the Phoenix Suns, so why
we're not killing the Suns?
Yes,
I don't feel like we're killing the Suns.
1 minute.
No, we're telling the truth.
We're not saying anything negative. We're just saying we're looking for.
What do you mean we're not saying anything negative? We just read off the numbers.
Doesn't matter.
The big three were minus 51.
Yeah.
Those are
Jimmy B, shut up, sucker.
Damn right.
Thank you, Rampage. Jimmy, wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's it.
Atta baby. Yeah, we see those Yotes fans pulling in here at Casino Arizona. We'll just see right there.
Way,
there he is, right there.
Jimmy B's the little guy.
Wow. Body's not even cold. Jimmy's hammering.
Yep.
They mourn the body for crying out loud.
All right.
Man.
We went to break. Let's just you and I talk.
Okay.
We're at break. No one's listening.
Okay.
You honestly don't think there's any hope for Coyote fans?
I absolutely believe that. Absolutely.
Why would you do that as a talk show host?
No, not with this owner.
Okay,
not
but
with this owner.
Okay, so but that's the cards they've been dealt.
Well,
that's all they have. That's the only hope that's available.
For the moment, yes. So you're not going to get any help from this guy. NHL other owners don't like him. They think he's a scoundrel, and he might be. I don't know.
Who's your source?
Yeah.
Who's
besides
my source?
Besides your opinion?
Besides your Twitter page.
Yeah.
What is your source?
Yeah.
No, because you've never met him.
Have
you ever met Morello?
I have not. I have not met him.
Have you ever interviewed him?
I have not.
Okay.
You
don't know anything about him.
But I know people that have been around him, and
What's his name or her name?
I'm not going to. I can't say.
You can't give your sources.
I'm not going to do that. Journalistic integrity takes over here.
For a guy that has drinks for the coach of his college team he's following, to be able to separate your opinion from having drinks with them. There's that journalistic integrity.
Wait a minute. What? What are you talking about?
You said Ron Myers.
That was.
Yeah, you had drinks with him.
Yeah, when he was SMU.
How you gonna
in 1980?
How you gonna critique him if you have drinks with him the night before?
He's got. Well,
yeah. So much for journalistic integrity.
Well, there was the Sports Talk Radio back then.
Yes, there was.
No,
Scott, three-time NBA champion. What does he think needs to happen for the Suns to get back on track or possibly get out of the round one in the playoffs next year? That's next. We're live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Clear.
What's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix?
Big commitment for Sun Devil men's basketball from Jaden Quaintance, the number 2 center of the 2024 recruiting class. The Diamondbacks give Tommy Henry the ball in their return home for tonight's series opener with the Dodgers. They went 4-6 on their just completed 10-game road trip. The Cardinal selection of wideout Marvin Harrison Jr. highlighted a weekend that saw them draft 12 players and sign 3 undrafted free agents. The Suns face a multitude of questions heading into the offseason after getting bounced from the playoffs by the T-Wolves. Among those, if Coach Frank Vogel is retained and if they sign Kevin Durant to an extension. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
It's Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing and your sexy status roof guy on Instagram and Facebook. Lesser roofers cut corners, cobbling together patchwork roofs to meet a budget, not State 48 Roofing. Give us a call today for your maintenance, repair, or full replacement needs.
Arena Sports Grill in Scottsdale on Bell Road is your home for billiards, poker, and trivia. And now the Roc and Manuch Amber by Huss Brewing. Stop by today and experience top sports viewing, off-track betting, daily specials, and ice-cold Roc and Manuch Amber drafts. Arena Sports Grill.
When you're hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle wreck, Learn-A-Row will take you from wreck to check, from crash to cash, from accident to whatever rhymes with accident. And we'll help you with all the details in between. We'll help you get to the right doctors, even if you don't have health insurance. We'll help you get your car fixed. We'll help you get your doctor bills paid. And then we'll fight with the insurance companies to get you every dollar you deserve. Hurt in a wreck? Call Learn-A-Row. We're with you every step of the way.
Learn-A-Row is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Is it time for an all-in-one wireless printer with tons of connectivity options? With Document Solutions of the Valley, you can buy, lease, or rent models that work off of your smartphone. Call 623-252-8282. Document Solutions of the Valley. Our service can't be copied.
Get ready for double the fun on the 101. Introducing the Salt River Rewards Program at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort, the Valley's newest and best. With multiple tiers and endless benefits, we've got something for everyone. Don't miss out on the excitement. Salt River Rewards, the Valley's premier player rewards program, now at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. 2 properties, 1 amazing club, offering limitless fun on the 101. Discover the best in the Valley at saltriverrewards.com.
If you haven't tried G2G protein bars, today is the day. Find them in your local Costco's refrigerated section or online at g2gbar.com. Incredible taste and packed with protein. They are perfect for your on-the-go lifestyle. Check them out today.
In this week's Marketers Report, Angela Zapata, CMO Hyundai Motor America, discusses measuring audio.
The measurement capability within audio, I think, surprised all of us. We have seen a huge return on our investment. Seeing real numbers has helped us continue to invest.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the data, audiences, and influencers you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
What's the room again?
He's there. 40, down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Sammy, don't touch that. That's someone's old food.
Here we are. Do you have the key?
You have both of ours.
Oh, right. Not working.
Rub it.
Come on.
Try flipping it over.
Seriously. Why can't we go inside? I'm tired.
Give me yours.
You have mine.
All right.
What?
Please, if you
Dad,
could.
why aren't you opening the door?
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount. Your motorcycle, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Individually, I live and breathe it, bro. Like, I have nothing else but, like, you know, at this point in my life, I got a lot of going on outside of basketball, but what I'm mainly focused on is ball, bro. So, like, yeah, I got motivation. I love to play. I'm going to come back next year, you know, ready to hoop. You know,
Reply.
So
You're live.
I don't think you should question that.
It's Kevin Durant after last night's loss, asked about motivation after being swept. Scott Williams joins us, 3-time NBA champion. He's been there before. Scott, have you been swept ever in the first round in your days playing in the NBA? You played a long time.
I'll tell you what, guys. I love you guys to death, but there's about 1,000 other places I'd rather be than on the phone with you on this Monday morning to have to talk about my beloved Suns basketball, going down to a broom sweeping after 2 games, hearing my heart out chanting defense, defense for 48 minutes because that was tough to watch. It was tough to watch a team that I was so excited for the start of the season. I bought in so hard when they had the big 3 and they got Bradley Beal here to never see it materialize. This is a tough one. It's a real tough one for me last night. And I bumped into James Jones kind of during the first quarter, and, you know, both of us kind of had that look of nervousness on our face, like it can't happen. It surely can't happen. And yet it did. And yes, I have been swept in the first round with the Milwaukee Bucks, and that was back when it was best 3 out of 5. And we played the first 2 games at Indiana, and Reggie Miller just absolutely torched a youngish Ray Allen, and they swept our butts right on out the playoffs.
Scott, what is it in particular you saw during the season that was not corrected in the playoffs? And the one thing I noted, we talked about many times, was this team would give up over 60 points plus many times in a half, 2 quarters combined, and then again last night in a must-win scenario, they gave over 60 plus points in the second half. So that being said, me being a Suns fan since day one when they got here, I'm in the 7th grade. What was it you had a hard time stomaching throughout the year, and then it carried over into the playoffs?
Yeah, you make a good point there about not being able to get stops. That was the hardest thing for me, I guess, watching the team, not so much this year, but a year ago, especially in that finals in the playoffs against Denver, the inability to be able to get stops. So I was most excited, in addition to the Bradley Beal, second most excited about the fact that they brought Frank Vogel in here, and he came in and talking about getting stops on the defensive side of the ball, because I couldn't score an empty gym. I was a defensive-minded player. I provided assistance on a help side defense. I thought I was pretty good on-ball defense. I was blocking shots, taking charges. All of those things that I guess help a team win that don't necessarily always show up on the stat sheet outside of rebounding. And we never got a rhythm defensively where I thought this team was a solid defensive team. And you saw what a solid defensive team can do to great offensive-minded team in the playoffs, the way Minnesota, obviously number one team out of all 30 in the league, ratcheted it up, and they got stops when they needed. They got steals when they needed. They got extra possessions on the offensive end for second chance points. The steals led to a lot of runaway opportunities for them. I mean, points in the paint on game 3 was a lopsided 56-26. So those types of things are just hard to overcome when you're in a situation like the playoffs where every possession matters.
Scott Williams is our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. All right, so with what you just talked about and how good the T-Wolves are, and they are a very talented team, and you talked about their defensive prowess and also what they did offensively, the common denominator there for the T-Wolves is Mike Conley. And the veteran guy is the leader offensively and defensively on the court. Is it fair to say, Scott, that the Suns did not have that guy on the court?
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. I hate to say that, because Kevin Durant's my favorite player, and I think he tries to lead by example. I think Devin Booker tries to lead by example, but one knock, I guess, when a team is struggling is you need a vocal leader. You need a no-nonsense leader. You need a kind of a sandpaper type attitude out of a guy that's going to, I don't want to say get in somebody's face, but hold somebody accountable in a way that's not always so pleasant for them. Not to say it has to be an embarrassing situation on the floor in a game in front of 17,000 fans, but it certainly needs to be done in a locker room, on a team plane, on a bus, in a film session, somewhere where you can get a player's attention or our group of players' attention to let them know that this is no longer acceptable and how we're going to advance in the season. And unfortunately, I guess back in December and January and February, those types of things weren't done. And then come March and April, it was almost too late. So the Suns find themselves in a situation like they are. And I don't know where they go from here, but I know that there's got to be that situation addressed in the offseason.
You hear it, you talk, we go through the whole 9 yards, and the one stat I thought struck out big time was that this big three were minus 51 during this playoff series. This said that is the lowest for big three, top three players on any team in NBA history during playoffs. And so, Scott, when I throw that number at you, what does that mean when you see them get swept? Are they not on the same page? Too many cooks in the kitchen. Guys are doing their own thing. Too many one-on-ones. I mean, when you see that number, you go, that's historic when you see that number.
So when you see a number like that, and I did not know that number till you just told me right now, is there like a D all of the above? Because I think to get to such a negative plus minus, there's got to be more than one problem, right? So yeah, all of the above. And I know from my last few years in the NBA, Milwaukee, especially in Phoenix, there was no help in Denver. We had knuckleheads on that squad, so I'm not going to point to that example. But I was kind of a glue guy. I had gotten a reputation in the NBA of making guys that don't always necessarily, they're talented, but don't necessarily like one another, or they were vying for, that was kind of during that area of like, whose team is it? Is it Stephon Marbury's team? Is it Penny Hardaway's team? And there was friction amongst the guys. I got a reputation of getting guys to come together, to forget about all the other noise outside of basketball, and let's just have some fun playing the game, getting to know one another. And I don't know if it's possible for good teams to not have that guy, but I know it's certainly easier when a good team does have that guy. And I hope that they can find somebody that wants to take on that role. Whether it doesn't necessarily have to be the best player, because I certainly wasn't the best player in any of the teams that I played for, but it's got to be somebody that's willing to go out and break some bread with one dude and then another guy, and then get those two guys together. And next thing you know, you're starting to build a team of chemistry. And that's huge, too, when it comes down to the success of a ball club.
Scott, Michael Jordan got swept. Magic Johnson got swept. It's happened to the greatest players on the planet. LeBron was on the verge of getting swept. He's got another chance tonight. However, is it just okay to say that the Minnesota Timberwolves were the much better overall team than the Suns?
No, it's not okay to just say that and accept the fact that they're going to beat you 4 straight games. And let's talk about that example with the Lakers, because the Lakers were, they were winning in the 3 previous basketball games that they had, and they made some fatal errors, and the Nuggets are pretty damn good, and they came back and won those first 3 games. But they switched up their style of play from the first 3 games to the 4th game, and I think that's what it takes in the playoffs, and adjustments that have to be made when a team starts to figure you out and how to shut you down defensively and how to get, baskets when they need offensively. There's got to be adjustment from game to game, or, sometimes even half to half. And I don't know if the Suns were a little too one-dimensional when it came to that aspect, thinking, we'll just keep doing what we're doing, well, hopefully it'll click for us. And they played a little better last night. And they competed last night, but the first couple ball games, that they really didn't. And I don't know if the Grayson Allen injury didn't allow them the flexibility to be able to make the changes necessary, but certainly there were some style adjustments that needed to be done that I didn't see drastically done enough to alter what Minnesota had to do then to try to counter those moves. And I'm not one of these guys that bashes coaching, because I was a horrible assistant coach when I was in the league and got fired after 1 year. So I don't want to put it on Coach Vogel, but I know those types of things have to be done to have great success in the playoffs. And I just think that they were too one-dimensional to, I guess, get the victory that they needed to avoid the sweep.
Scott, thanks, man. Have a good week. We'll hopefully catch up with you, talk some NBA playoffs as it gets down the road.
I'll tell you what, guys. I'm over here. I pulled over here at Signature Aviation at Scottsdale Airport. I'm trying to jump on one of these jets going down to Cabo. I don't know if I'm coming back till after the playoffs are over. So you may have to call somebody else, because you might get a do not disturb if you dial me. This one hurt me hard. I was down there and had my pom-poms out, and praying hard. I feel bad for what's the coach Ishbia, Matt Ishbia, because he went all in, and you can't fault him for anything. So the rest of those dudes got to figure it out here.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. That's Scott Williams here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. We'll be right back.
Win some bonus bucks. Listen for your chance to win $1,000. Dollar Bill Show. When you hear the keyword at the top of the hour, weekdays from 9 to 5, enter it at foxsports910.com to win. Sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys.
Hey, Arizona, it's your local accident attorney, Kevin Rowe, from Lerner and Rowe, where there are no fees until we win your case. Speaking of win, we want to help you bank $1,000, powered by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. Interact, need a check? Call Lerner and Rowe today, 977-1900.
It's Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing and your sexy status roof guy on Instagram and Facebook. Lesser roofers cut corners, cobbling together patchwork roofs to meet a budget, not State 48 Roofing. Give us a call today for your maintenance, repair, or full replacement needs.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
Beat the heat with a patio misting system from Fogco. Let Fogco design the perfect misting system for your patio, pool, or leisure areas. Stay cool all summer with Fogco patio misters. Get a free quote at Fogco.com. That's FOGCO.com. Fogco, serving the Valley for over 35 years.
Upper Crust Pizza and Patio Wine Bar on the southeast corner of Cave Creek and the 101. Happy hour 7 days a week, 4 to 7, with $5.50 house wines and well drinks, $4.75 drafts, plus tons of food specials. Upper Crust Pizza and Patio Wine Bar.
Looking for a change in your career? All City Towing is searching for motivated teammates to join their team. Current openings now available in customer service, tow truck operators, yard management, facilities maintenance, and dispatch. Apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call 480-833-7278.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
Dukes, Miller, and McDowell.
The only place you're going to find 3 10-foot screens with games on full volume in 3 separate rooms, all in the same bar.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
With dozens more big screens. You'll find every game you're looking for only at Dukes, because there's only one Dukes. Voted best sports bar by New Times.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, darts, karaoke and trivia nights. 3 huge patios on the Greenbelt, all doggy friendly.
Whatever Dukes, Miller and McDowell, shut up.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right. I gotta try that Febreze car. Just right, just right, just right, yeah. La 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 la. Pick up 40 days of consistency. All over Febreze car clips right on your face. You know my car's my happy place. Keep a smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah, breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, broadcasting live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is a sports fan's paradise. You are locked in to Fox Sports 910, live from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport, the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat.
63
The human
years
drama
ago,
of athletic competition.
1961, ABC's Wide World of Sports showed the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat for the very first time. As you can hear, really poor audio, but that's probably the best audio you're going to get for something that was first on the air 63 years ago. I think it's appropriate because I know there's something here. Shu, we haven't discussed this, but I think this is something that goes back in the 60s, which means there's probably going to be a story. So could you just lay it on us with the music
Just hit it.
and let Jimmy go?
Got a Jim McKay story or Chris Schenkel story?
You know that guy you interviewed the skier?
Yeah.
I mean, what was it?
The bowling that was on.
They had bowling. They also had
Eagle Knievel jumps.
I covered Eagle Knievel, the Idaho at Snake River jump.
Pottstown, PA.
Dude, shut up. The best one was barrel jumping on skates. That was always entertaining. I will tell you this. I did run into Chris Schenkel a couple of times. And it was when he was doing a bowling event, and he was a great guy. And before Chris Schenkel, there was a guy that they termed him as Whispering Joe Wilson. And the reason they called him Whispering Joe was because the microphones where they were set up was right next to the lanes. So he had to talk like this. And now the bowler is getting ready. He makes the approach. It's a good throw. Oh, it's in for a strike. That would be Whispering Joe Wilson.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Boy, Jimmy.
That wasn't a setup. You didn't know that was coming.
I did not know.
You had no idea why I was coming back with Wide World of Sports. So way to be on it.
Baby.
Thank
you, brother.
That's why a play-by-play guy is better than a color analyst.
I can
You
analyze.
react. We don't need you. We didn't need you to analyze. We needed a reaction. We got it.
The analysis for watching, that each and every Saturday was must watch. Was watching the players, watching all those scenarios unfold from what they're doing. But that was must watch TV growing up.
Football at 50 is now as the Pac-12. The swan song, the conference, the so-called Conference of Champions. Well, they did quite well.
They did.
In the NFL draft, finishing second to the SEC. It went 59 draft picks for the SEC, 43 from the Pac-12. How about Washington, by the way, in the first round? 42 in the Big Ten, 41 in the ACC, 31 in the Big 12. You had 8 independents and then all the way down, 5, 4, 3, 2, depending on which league. Even the English rugby got a draft guy in there. So
Kansas City Chiefs.
But you look at Detroit, congratulations to what they were able to accomplish. 775,000 people over 3 days. That broke the previous record of 550,000, which was in just 2 days in Nashville. But how about the city of Detroit? I ran into a buddy of mine who actually was there, who actually had his boat, which many people don't know. I mean, I know all the lakes and stuff, but what a lot of people were doing was getting on a boat to get into the area for this event. He also said the event was interesting in that once you got in, you were stuck on what to drink. And he made a point to say you can only get Budweiser, you can only get Michelob Ultra and Stella. If I wanted something else, you had to leave the facility and go outside because they had the way that they broke the city up. They made it very difficult for people to kind of get out. It's like an IKEA. You get in, you can't get out.
You're
so
right.
It was very similar to that.
Right.
So
like captive audience, they're not going to go out and about.
Next year it's Green Bay, and then they'll make a decision here on the next one after that. I don't know if Arizona would ever be on that list. I think we would do quite well. I think we do real well. But we're now a city with only 3 major sports teams. People may not look at us the same anymore.
Well,
I know that's not true.
We lost the Yo.
I know.
Our teams are out of the playoffs in the first round.
They're toast.
Cardinals
are going to be terrible for many, many years. I don't know how people look at us. We were very relevant there.
Yeah.
They had a pretty good, I guess, on the lawn for the draft. They had a pretty good crowd out there. A lot of folks out there. They made it like come out there and watch a big festival.
Nice
I think
party.
I think it'd be pretty good. I think you'd want to have it inside, though, in the facility, State Farm, versus I don't know if the lawn could handle that whole area could handle being outside. Number one.
Why would you do it out there? Why wouldn't you do it downtown someplace like
downtown,
like Detroit? You find I'm just saying. I don't think the location would necessarily have to be at the stadium.
I think it has to be.
It has to be.
It has to be.
It has to be.
Downtown. Yeah, I agree with
2
you.
minutes.
Yeah,
But I don't
because
think
you
enough.
got the Civic Plaza, which can hold hundreds of thousands of people. You got Chase. You got the arena. You got everything there. You can't do it in West Side.
No.
Well, I think
Westgate.
but
That'd be horrible.
If they did it outside, it'd probably be a Westgate thing or out the lawn. But I'm thinking if you did it, I think it'd be the safer bet because of the weather and then whether it's hot or cold. Because we had 90-some degrees And there back in Detroit, was it 65, 70?
No, it was 50. It was
50.
freezing.
Okay.
It was
Yeah,
the
it was cool.
opposite.
Chilly.
Yeah.
But I think downtown, you wonder if it could handle it. But we saw Nashville handle it downtown.
They do.
That's
So I
made
think-
for downtown.
Yeah, I think
Nashville's different.
I
We
think-
don't have a Broadway.
Yeah, I think that it's just kind of a pecking order thing where the
Gotta be
NFL felt
downtown.
would be the best bet, would be the best location. And as far as approximation, if the Suns are still playing at that time too, you got to remember, you got Suns games. If they make the playoffs, there's a lot of coordination that have to happen.
Green Bay will not have big numbers. It's just too hard to get to.
And it's cold.
I don't think it's cold this time of year. It's not
It
that
can't-
bad.
it
But
can
it
be.
could
It can
be.
be.
You know,
1 minute.
but, you do it in Lambeau, you get 70,000 people in there, and you they'll make it work. So I'm
They
sure
will.
they're pretty close. What do the Eagles know that we don't? They were so busy on the trade front during the draft. They swapped 8 picks over 3 days, which tied a record. With added eligibility due to the pandemic as well as the NIL, there were just 59 underclassmen that declared, which is really low.
30.
And I'm anxious to know if there's something to that. Are they looking ahead that there are a lot of players that are sitting there that, hey, we gotta prepare for next year? And they've always done well. They're always
20.
wheeling and dealing. I love it. I like they're doing a good job. We're going to keep talking about this, the draft. There's some interesting news about the Super Bowl moving to President's Weekend.
10.
And 20 games a season. We'll tell you all about that next. Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B.
Clear.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B has been sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing.
Hey, it's Gross. Join me, Bauer, and Jackson every Saturday from 11 to 1 live from the sports book at the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona for Take the Points. Powered by the sports book at CAZ Sports Bar.
You hear it all the time. Lawyers talk about all their experience, many years of experience with insurance companies, and experience in the courtroom. But what they're not talking about is their results. Maybe they don't have any. At Lerner & Rowe, we're proud of our results because that's how we measure our success. We've helped over 150,000 people recover billions of dollars for their injuries, with over $1 billion just in the last 5 years alone. When you want results, call Lerner & Rowe.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Fogco, the Valley's original manufacturer of high-pressure fog systems, has been cooling their customers for over 35 years. Fogco provides their customers with results that exceed their expectations, with reliable misting and fogging solutions that you can count on all summer long. Head to fogco.com.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations like Freeform Radio. Search Freeform Radio and listen now on your free iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
The D-backs face the San Diego Padres on Saturday, May 4th. Take home the Gabby Moreno Gold Glove bobblehead courtesy of Casino Arizona. Buy your tickets at dbacks.com.
Family Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. It's time to get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data, and you get to choose who joins your family plan starting as low as $25 a line. Does it have to be family? It can be family or people you like.
Get more lines and more savings. Switch to Straight Talk for family plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
What's the room again?
1240 down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Sammy, don't touch that. That's someone's old food.
Here we are. Do you have the key?
You have both of ours.
Oh, right. Not working.
Rub it.
Come on.
Try flipping it over.
Seriously. Why can't we go inside? I'm tired.
Give me yours.
You have mine.
All right.
What?
Please, if you
Dad,
could.
why aren't you opening the door?
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
Broadcasting from the Rappy Law Group studio, this is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD3 Phoenix. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports talk, podcasts, and music. Free never sounded so good.
The Suns dealing with a number of questions heading into the offseason after getting bounced in the playoffs by the Timberwolves. Among those will be if Coach Frank Vogel is retained and if they sign Kevin Durant to an extension. Sun Devil men's basketball gets a commitment from Jaden Quaintance. He's the number 2 center of the 2024 recruiting class. It'll be Tommy Henry on the mound for the Diamondbacks tonight as they take on the Dodgers. The Snakes win 46 on their 10-game road trip. And the Cardinals' selection of wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. highlighted a weekend that saw them draft 12 players and sign 3 undrafted free agents. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter the nationwide keyword FUN at foxsports910.com. That's FUN at foxsports910.com.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For your Monday, look for mostly sunny skies, temperatures in the low 90s for today. And then for tonight, we'll continue with those clear skies with those overnight lows dipping into the mid-60s. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save money on both. Learn more at progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Again, that's progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B is sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing. Back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, broadcasting live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is a sports fan's paradise. You are locked in to Fox Sports 910, live from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900 and always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
You're hot.
Fox Sports 910.
Well, I hope you had a great weekend. Not good for the Suns and the Suns fans, as, of course, they are done for the season. So it will be an interesting offseason to see what happens here in Phoenix and what kind of changes, if any, will happen as this team tries to run it back with the big three, or do they make some changes? So we'll dive into that a little bit later. But we want to get into some NFL draft talk as the Arizona Cardinals, from majority of all the publications, the websites, the talking heads, all were very complimentary to the Arizona Cardinals and giving them an A. I've seen the lowest I saw was a B, maybe a B minus, but most people, I think, consensus was A. And, I would agree. I mean, I couldn't tell you otherwise. I mean, half these guys I've never saw play, but we'll see how they do at the next level and how many of these guys will actually play. But we all know there's a lot of holes on this team, and this is a great organization. If you're one of those, kind of borderline guys to kind of get
wait
to
and
the
see.
next level.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks with this draft. I mean, I like what they did. I think what I appreciate, we watch a lot of these teams, is the needs that they have and filling those needs, and hopefully these young guys that they bring on will fill the needs, and some will be impactful, some will be depth guys, some of them will fight for competition. And I think that's what Monty Osfort did as far as they got 4 picks in the third round. And those are those, I feel, value picks, those guys that can really help a team. And I really like that they went after pretty much, there wasn't one guy that was not a D1 guy. Look at the competition receiver from UAB, the home run hitters. They got a lot of things that can really help this team, I feel, as far as winning. I think that's the main thing Monty Osfort wanted to address, is fill the needs, how these guys going to help the free agents we got with the current guys we have, as far as us winning another 3, 4, 5 games and trying to get back to the playoffs. I think that he addressed that scenario, that hopefully that'll help these kids.
Manuch, one of the questions that I had, and I was saving for you, Mr. Football Boy, is that when you watch the draft, I mean, it pretty much went chalk for a while. where everybody thought, oh, this is going to be absolutely nuts. People are going to be trying to move. They're going to move up. They're going to move down. And it didn't happen. What happened? Why didn't that take place?
I think they were content with their board, their own board. I really do. I mean, they stay there at the combine. You've got pro days. They scrutinize, they vet, they do this, they do that. And I think that sometimes they react to what's going on in front of them. And that's a lot of times. So they react, they say, okay, they didn't make this move. We can stay there, as opposed to guys making moves in front of them and them having to go to plan B or plan C. So, I mean, you look at it, Rock talked about the Eagles, the moves they made, the Cardinals, the moves they made, the Vikings. I mean, there's enough there. So it doesn't affect them, that team behind them or three back behind them, that they're, well, we still have our guys.
Okay.
We still have two guys that'll fit for this. Then they won't respond. I think the only reason why they respond is, well, okay, if we're going to keep up with the Joneses, let's say it's within the division, then maybe we need to go counter that with doing this, this, and this. I don't really feel they go that deep per se, but as long as their folks, their people, the guys they have earmarked are there for them and nobody's disrupted that, I think that's what happens to a lot of NFL teams.
So the draft is over, but the league still has some busy times ahead, as up next will be the schedule release. We all know the home and road opponents that are set. That happens right at the end of the season. But the NFL has, at least over the last year or two, really put a lot of effort into must-see TV with the schedule release. Last year, all the big networks, they had dedicated release shows in prime time. They were up about 25 to 30% from the year before, and that's not going to change this year. And it should happen the second Thursday of May. That is kind of the date they've used, the unofficial date from the last couple of years. So hopefully that'll be what they say it's going to be on May 9th. So I think that's pretty interesting. And what's going to make it interesting more is you have 6 teams with rookie quarterbacks that were selected in the first round. And that's big when they look at the TV windows.
Sure.
That, that late game, that Sunday night game, that Monday night, Thursday night game, and then there's some new options this year with the windows, the holiday windows with Black Friday and a doubleheader on Christmas and everything there. So the NFL owners are going to meet in the end of May in Nashville, the spring meetings. They're going to talk about what the next draft city will be after Green Bay. Maybe Phoenix is in the mix. That'd be great. But I think the big story that came out of Detroit last week is Roger Goodell talking about expanding the schedule to 18 games, which could mean 19 games, which could mean 20 games. And he even went on the Pat McAfee show and said he's not a fan of preseason.
Right.
And I think most people aren't, unless you kind of came up through the NFL like Manuch. It was an opportunity to play.
Yeah.
So, people do like it. But I think the biggest story of all of them, we can go back to this, Manuch, is something that we have been pounding, at least myself, have been pounding on my chest, my table for 28 years doing sports radio. Move the freaking Super Bowl to President's Day weekend. Make it a 3-day weekend. Make it a 3-day weekend, please. And I think it's going to happen.
You have been harping on that.
Yeah.
And it's
so obvious.
It could happen.
It will happen.
I mean,
I will bet everything I own.
But I want to. I mean, me personally, I think so many Americans want to show up on Monday around the water and talk about the Super Bowl. You talk about hangovers.
Do it on Tuesday.
No, then by that time it's water under the bridge. It's water under the bridge.
You don't lose it. So and I don't even want to. We barely even talk about it after we do a show after the Super Bowl.
On Monday? Are you kidding me?
We
beat
do.
the Super Bowl up,
we don't
man.
beat it up. The game's over. Let's just be honest.
Whoa.
Time out. No, guys. No, I'm serious. We will spend 6 days previewing a game, half a day talking about the game.
Sure. But then on Monday, the fun
half of the day we talk about it. That's it.
We got a 3-hour show, 2 out of the fucking Super Bowl.
And that's it. After we spent 2 weeks leading up to
that's
it.
pretty damn good talking 2 hours out of 3. There's other ancillary stuff going on.
We talk about just as much of a Cardinal game on Sunday than we do Super Bowl.
I think
everybody saw it. No one else wants to talk about it.
If it happens that way, if the commissioner's got that in his crosshairs as let's extend it out, we'll go 18 games. Let's maybe have another bye week in there, which they need to have another bye week if they go 18 games.
Love to.
And it happens to have another and it gets to that point, okay, so be it. I mean, we're going to be here on Monday talking about it.
Nobody cares.
Well, no, they will be. I mean, they want to hear the perspective. They want to
I
hear
got to
the
listen to
analysis.
Roc and Manuch. What do they think
Damn,
about
Skippy.
that NFL Super Bowl?
Yeah,
No one cares.
Brock Purdy winning another Super Bowl. We'll have to break that down. But I think that if the thing about preseason, you have to be very careful,
3.
Roger Goodell. There's a lot of things you need to have in place before you play in a regular season, and you
Like
got to
what?
have. You got to make sure these guys are physically ready, mentally ready.
They go, what, 6 months to prepare?
Yeah, but they're not. If they're not playing,
No, they
games,
have
Rock,
8 months to prepare.
They got to get game ready. They got to get football
Whatever.
ready to go.
It's 11 minutes of full contact.
11
11 minutes of action.
You have no idea. You all of a sudden you're gonna put this product out there after not playing any preseason games.
Fine.
It'll be a watered down.
Scrimmages.
Okay. Well, if they are, how about going through the real coaches? Players love at least 2 games. You can go. At least we can go through the entirety of preparing for a game, playing a game, coming back, prepping for the next game. So they'll eliminate 3. They'll go to. You need preseason guys. You definitely need to get those guys ready to go.
Well, as fans, we don't.
Well, as fans, you don't. But
Fans, we hate it.
If you want to
As
see
a season ticket holder, you get charged for that damn preseason game.
I can see that, and that's what they need to go ahead and maybe adjust that, but they won't.
They won't.
But you need to make sure you put a good, solid, healthy product on there.
You're going to tell me the Players Association are going to be for preseason games? No, they are for money.
I
and
get it.
More regular season games. What runs the league? It's the players.
But here's the thing: if they go 18, they'll go 2 preseason versus 3. Currently have 3 preseason games, so they'll go 2, and they'll be amenable
But
to
what
that.
do you do when you get to 20?
No
20, preseason.
You know what? It'd be very because you need something there. Then you need to scrimmage. If you got 4 weeks of preseason, then you're gonna have to go ahead and schedule some scrimmages.
Let me ask you.
with
I
teams.
know it's not the same level, but you consider SEC football pretty big.
Pretty damn good, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
and Big 10,
Yeah.
Big 12. They don't have a preseason.
Yeah, not the same, Rock.
What's the difference? You're
College-
practicing every day.
Okay, college.
You're
and-
practicing every day.
I get it, but
It's the same damn sport, the same damn ball.
Okay,
A little smaller.
Practice and games are 2 completely different.
I'm not
things.
saying they're not. I'm just saying they're not needed.
1 minute.
Oh, I just totally disagree. I think you need some
I'm with
semblance.
Manuch on this one.
You totally need some kind of game type activity, physicality, and getting your for timing.
Why
for
don't
this
why
and that.
doesn't the SEC do it? Why does college guys do it?
Well, they
It's
can't play
because most freshmen, I guess, that go to SEC schools aren't asked to be a starter, whereas rookies going from the NFL, Marvin Harrison Jr. or some of these second, third round guys are asked to be in
maybe
starting
5,
roles.
maybe 4 on the whole team.
Rock, you have no
they're
idea.
going to play.
You
And
have
then
no
you got
idea
the bottom guys that got to fight for a roster spot as well. So
Yeah.
you need those preseason.
that. You got timing, physicality, blocking, and
Definitely don't need more than 2. One, you can get
if-
all
if
out of
you-
your system in one.
Okay, if you could get at least 2 in plus another extra 2
Especially if
weeks.
you're going to scrimmage.
Scrimmage
You can get tape.
Wait. Scrimmages are controlled. Games are uncontrolled as far as how you hit, who you hit. Scrimmages, nobody tackles. You just kind of tag them.
I can't comment because I didn't play the game. You're both of you. You played D1 and you also played D1 and NFL. So okay, I get that part, but it's a business now. Let's just be honest. It's more about getting that payday and getting a regular season game opposed to a preseason game.
I get it.
And when the players don't want to play in those games,
Okay,
let's be honest.
so-
nobody wants to play in them.
I understand.
Other than a guy that's trying to make the team.
And I mentioned this a little bit on Friday. I get it because your 2 paychecks of preseason games are like $1,000. Guys want to start collecting. Okay. But in the meantime, as an owner and as players, you have to realize, Rock, if guys all of a sudden get out there without any preseason games, and you're seeing guys get hurt here, get hurt there, fall here, who aren't in game shape, actual game shape, you're going to have injuries all over the place. And then that waters down the competition moving forward. You want to make
90
sure guys are ready to
guys
go.
on the roster now.
No, they cut it down.
90.
Okay.
No,
but
there's 90 right now.
90 now, but
Yeah.
you cut that down to
Okay.
53.
But you got 6 months to do it.
Okay, but you're not you're not
You
scrimmaging.
play once a week.
You're not playing real games, Rock. It'd be like, okay, you think they go out? You think the Major League Baseball would start a regular season without having their spring training? There's no way. NBA, no way. NHL, no way. Guys have got to get game ready and get themselves to go through the blocking, the tackling, all that above. You can't do that at practice. And next thing you know, you got guys getting hurt. This guy's pulling this, and the guy's there. All of a sudden, you got 4, 5, 6 guys. Owners are going, wait a second.
They have a
You
better
know-
chance getting hurt in a preseason game than in practice.
No, not at all.
Okay,
no,
not at all.
No,
Really?
but they
Okay.
got to go through the timing, the tempo, the blocking, the tackling. I mean, guys are coming at you at full speed versus in scrimmages. Okay, we can't hit the quarterback or this or that. There's no semblance of a real game. You have to have real games. If you make it 2 in an 18-game schedule, okay, then they got to figure out a way to do some more scrimmaging prior to those with those 5 weeks.
I agree.
Of
You
practice.
got 6 months to do that. Hey, headlines are brought to you by the CAZ Sportsbook. The Bet the Game, Watch the Game Sportsbook here in Casino, Arizona. Check it out. They have 3 live betting windows, 6 self-service betting kiosks, and 8 screens that display all lines. That's CAZ Sports Casino, Arizona. Well, coming up next, what's next for the Suns after being swept? We'll roundtable it next. You're listening to Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Tomorrow on the Drive, there are Suns fans that believe trading Devin Booker might be the best thing for the future of the Suns. I'll tell you why that is 100% wrong, and keeping Devin Booker is the right decision. 6:05 on the Drive, Fox Sports 910, and your free iHeartRadio app.
A homeowner just like you
Hey.
decides to fix his roof.
Okay.
He backs up his truck, ties one end of the rope to the bumper and the other to himself.
Smart.
He's working on the back side of the roof until...
What? Wait, no.
Yes, Dad was in tow.
Ooh, was he hurt?
A few bruises and his pride.
Save yourself with State 48 Roofing, offering maintenance, repairs, and replacements. Of course, licensed, insured, and bonded. From residential to commercial. State48roofing.com.
Arena Sports Grill in Scottsdale on Bell Road is your home for billiards, poker, and trivia. And now, the Roc and Manuch Amber by Huss Brewing. Stop by today and experience top sports viewing, off-track betting, daily specials, and ice-cold Roc and Manuch Amber drafts. Arena Sports Grill.
Are you looking for a change in your career path or just looking to get back into the employment market again? Look no further. All City Towing is searching for motivated teammates to join their team. Current openings are in the areas of customer service, tow truck operators, yard management, facilities maintenance, and dispatch. If you're looking for a challenging yet rewarding opportunity, a great benefits program including 401k program with a generous company match, and a company that is a leader in the industry, apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call All City's HR department at 480-833-7278. All City Towing is Arizona's largest towing transport vehicle storage provider. Locally owned and invested within the communities they service. If you enjoy helping others by providing great customer service, working as a team, and possess great communication skills, All City is for you. Apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call 480-833-7278. That's allcitytowing.com.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, #SexyRoofStatus. All of our work using state-of-the-art materials and 5-star workmanship. Our inspections are free. You heard me? Free. Go to state48roofing.com to schedule your free appointment today.
Okay, guys, we got to put our trays up for takeoff.
Where's Dad?
Oh, he's in the back. We could only get 3 seats together.
Daddy has my pillow.
We'll get it later. Can you not put your feet up, please?
Why aren't we going?
We must be in line for takeoff.
Like security?
Well, that was a different line.
I have to go.
We just sat down.
But I have to go.
The seatbelt sign's on.
Why aren't we moving?
Hey, no picking. Son of a...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Bianna's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
More sports, more Jody. The Drive with Jody Ayler. Now in mornings, 6 to 10 on Fox Sports 910.
The Timberwolves complete the sweep. They win a playoff series for the first time in 20 years. Minnesota on to the second round.
So what's next for the Phoenix Suns now that the regular season and the playoffs are over? What will we see? What will this new ownership do? Will they make a quick change at head coach or general manager? Will they try to break up the big three? I know the dollars say it can't happen, but there's some people out there that are really smart and they know how to manipulate the numbers. And they can make those moves. You've always heard those deals. Well, there's no way they're going to be able to move that guy. Well, the guy gets moved. And I don't know who it's going to be. I think it's pretty clear it won't be Durant and with the trade clause that
Beal
has, I mean, Book's been here 9 years. He's a very popular guy.
Sure.
Suns fans would go nuts if they moved him. But
would they really?
Well, who doesn't like Book, though?
I know that, but you just stated a perfect reason why they could move him, is that he's been here 9 years. He's given his heart and soul to this team in bad times and then also in good times. And to be honest with you, if you're going to make a move to try to retool, he is the only guy that you can get an exorbitant amount of really good players and draft capital as far as working a deal.
But when do you get to the point where he's the face of the franchise?
Correct.
He's been loyal.
Yes.
Does a lot of stuff in the community, charitable stuff.
Yep.
He is the face.
Mm-hmm.
And for them to just trade him for a bunch of picks and some other superstars, I don't know if the fan base would handle it. I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
I think if I'm a Suns fan, I want the Suns to get out of the first round of the playoffs. I don't care who the guys are on wearing those uniforms.
I think the way he's trending to be maybe the greatest Suns player of all time. He's trending that way as well, too, as he continues.
You can't give him that.
No, not yet. But
Unless you win a championship.
Yeah, well, I would agree with that, too. And
Unless you want to make him a Dan Marino.
I'm like you, Rock. I kind of feel, okay, if you're going to do that, what are you going to do that you garner the points you're going to miss? You garner how are you going to improve the team? Because the only way you do that is if this is what's going to take us to the next level. Because obviously, this team right now with these big three and where they're at, they're pretty much stuck in neutral. They're not reversed. They're just there, and they got to figure out a way. What do we do to get this thing to move forward? Which myself as a Suns fan, a lot of us and Matt Ishberg go, hey, this is the addition with Bradley Beal, O'Neal on the bench, this guy, Grayson Allen, the contract, blah blah blah. We're set. Well, something's amiss.
Yeah, no point guard.
And that's not something that needs to be addressed. I think totally needs to be addressed. And I think a lot of the pundits out there agree with that, Jimmy. Then on top of that, the so-called defensive guru and Frank Vogel's head coach, when you watch time and time and time again, open guys, nobody defending. I mean, it just was like, okay, that didn't work. And you fired Monty Williams last year after you took him with the second round against the Denver Nuggets. And that team got beat in that series, but you fired him. This team this team struggled to make the playoffs. This team gets swept 0-4. Okay, so now, Matt Ishbia, you got that comp, Monty Williams versus Frank Vogel. Where are you there? And for James Jones' situation, where are you there? So Matt Ishbia, if you're going to put this much money in a situation like this, you've got some hard decisions of, is this the direction I want to go versus what you had?
All right, my esteemed colleague, and I can't believe I called you that, but here's the setup in which you are now discussing. You talked about defense. Did you watch any of the first two games of the Dallas Mavericks and LA Clippers? You saw Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving playing defense. Those guys never play defense. The Lakers game, you saw guys come out and play defense with Denver that you never saw during the course of the regular season. Here is my point, is that what you were just pontificating about, I'll use even a bigger word.
Thank you.
Okay, that they didn't do it. They did not do it. You can yell at the coach, you can yell at the general manager, but if your players, Manuch, refuse or are just lazy to get into that defensive structure, it ain't going to happen. And it didn't happen.
Exactly. And the whole turnover thing, they were breaking this down last night.
Wasn't bad at all yesterday.
It wasn't bad. But
9 maybe?
Yeah, but the differential.
But it happened at bad times.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, in that fourth quarter, you had, 3 turnovers?
3 turnovers right in a row.
But the differential they talked about in last night's game, there was a 15-point differential that Minnesota had over the Suns in turnovers. Well, think about that. Okay, 15 points.
That changes
you
the
lose
game.
by 6. but I'm trying to say it's reared its ugly head over and over and over again.
What is that? Lack of a point guard getting everybody into their positions. And that's why I always go back to what we just witnessed with Mike Conley and how he set that team up, meaning the Timberwolves. And everybody talks about Anthony Edwards, rightfully so. Everybody talks about Cat, rightfully so. They talk about Rudy Gobert, but it is Mike Conley who is the guy who is leading that team.
Take this for whatever it's worth. NBA Central at the Dunk Central. Tweet that I found yesterday, and I saved it just to read it today. A Sun source says Matt Ishbia, quote, has no idea what he's doing when it comes to basketball. It's like Looney Tunes around here. Around here means that he works there. Sounds like. It felt unstable since Ishbia arrived. He's a good guy and everything, I think, but he's just very involved, too involved. I know he played college basketball, but I'd venture to say he has no idea what he's doing when it comes to basketball, yet he's making a lot of big decisions, close quote.
Well, at this point, maybe he just says, all right.
Take that for whatever.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? You watch him. They showed him several times during the game.
They did.
Boy, he looked really concerned, as he should.
I don't blame
to
him.
be like it was either what the hell did I just do, or what do I need to do, or where do we go from here? And do they stand pat, make some additions here and there, and try to run it over again? But if you run it over again, how's that going to improve this scenario?
It's not.
And by the way, I want to just say the Dunk Central Twitter page has 1.5 million followers, so it may be legit. I saw another post that when it came to Bradley Beal, look at the trade. Phoenix missed 29 games, 161 million still owed to him. Swept in the first round. What did Washington? Right now, they have a 14% chance of getting the first pick overall. They're no longer paying Beal. Pick swaps, 24, 26, 28, and 30 via Phoenix. Second round picks, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 30 via Phoenix. That has to go down as the dumbest trade the Suns have ever made.
Yeah, it didn't pay off. That net return on investment did not pay off.
I know Ishbia's in the mortgage business, but he mortgaged the freaking future.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, and that was the concern for all of us was, well, he misses a lot of games, has missed a lot of games, and he did. And this whole thing, even the players, a lot of folks saying that, hey, look, playing together, injuries, this, that, and whatnot. No, I'm not going to buy that. You guys are stars. I get it.
Can we go one step for the chemistry bowl?
Absolutely.
Come on.
I agree.
Beal and Durant and Booker, one playoff win in 2 years together. I mean, when they beat that one game, they beat the Clippers. George wasn't even playing.
Sure.
Kyrie may have been hurt. I mean, so let's this chemistry thing. Come on.
And you just brought the Clippers. Look at the stars they have on that team, and they seem to garner that pretty good. Look where they're at right now.
Yeah, they're 2-2.
You have 4 stars on that team.
They do.
They really do.
They got dudes on that team.
By the way, that Dallas game yesterday and the New York Philly game, these playoff games have been outstanding.
They've been great.
By the way, and if you're peeking into little Nashville, Vancouver, and that's in the hockey playoffs, I mean, there's been some outstanding sports
stuff
over the weekend. Well, coming up, it's Factor Philly with Craig Philly. He will join us next, get his answer to 5 questions that Manuch put together. We do it every Monday, and it is next. We're out here at the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Behold. Here's what's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix.
A busy weekend for the Cardinals. They drafted a dozen players and signed 3 undrafted free agents. Rookie minicamp will begin in early to mid-May. Lots of questions for the Suns as they go into the offseason after getting bounced in the playoffs by the Timberwolves. Among the questions, if Coach Frank Vogel is retained and if they sign Kevin Durant to an extension. Sun Devil men's basketball got a commitment from Jaden Quaintance, the number 2 center of the 2024 recruiting class. And the Diamondbacks give Tommy Henry the ball in their return home in tonight's series opener with the Dodgers. The Snakes went 4-6 on their 10-game road trip. I'm Frank Garrity, 910, everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're not just a sports bar. We're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, get ready to score big on fun and flavor. Only at BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day. Check us out online at bkdsbackyard.com. That's bkdsbackyard.com.
Enter for a chance to win G2G protein bars for an entire year. Text G2G to 59925. You'll receive a confirmation text. Standard message and data rates apply. Text G2G to 59925. G2G protein bars. Fresh, healthy, and delicious. Now available at Costco.
Investing in a high-quality misting system from Fogco will be the coolest decision you ever make for your home patio, pool area, or commercial property. Fogco, the Valley's original manufacturer of high-pressure fog systems, is one of the pioneers in the misting industry for over 35 years. Let Fogco transform your outdoor living and entertainment areas into a cool and soothing tropical showcase. If you're looking for quality, reliability, and value, get a free quote at fogco.com. That's FOGCO.com.
Hey, it's Gross. Join me, Bauer, and Jackson every Saturday from 11 to 1 live from the Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona for Take the Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, historic rivalries tip off with shareable bites, and every shot you take is a game winner. All season long, you're balling with 29-degree beer, courtside seats, and scenic views. I mean, where else can you pair wall-to-wall hoops with hard-to-find whiskey? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites.
What's the room again?
1240 down at the end.
Ooh, what's that? Sammy, don't touch that. That's someone's old food.
Here we are. Do you have the key?
You have both of ours.
Oh, right. Not working.
Rub it.
Come on.
Try flipping it over.
Seriously. Why can't we go inside? I'm tired.
Give me yours.
You have mine.
All right.
Please,
if you
Dad,
He's there.
Aren't you opening the door?
Can everyone just shut the...
Don't go there. Go on a real vacation. Go RVing. Learn more at GoRVing.com.
Don't let erectile dysfunction impact your performance. It's a common medical condition and there's no shame in seeking help. Arizona Urology Specialists. Personal care for life's most personal issues. Visit ArizonaURO.com or call 602-887-2160.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, broadcasting live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is a sports fan's paradise. You are locked in to Fox Sports 910, live from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. It's time for Fact or Fooey with ABC 15 Sports Director Craig Fooey. Fooey joins the guys each Monday to break down the top stories of the weekend. And as a reminder, Manuch writes the questions. Now here's ABC 15 Craig Fooey.
All right, dive right to it. Craig Fooey, ABC 15 Sports Director, now on the right to the guest line. All right, Fooey. We got 5 of them, and then we went a round table a few things with you. So let's dive right into it.
All right.
Are you good with that?
Yeah, you got it. You
All
got
right.
it.
This year's Phoenix Suns team will go down as the most disappointing team in recent Suns history. Fact or Fooey?
Fact. When you're it's like me as a kid, right? I always told myself, if I don't expect a lot for Christmas, I won't be disappointed. So when you go into this season and you expect a ton from the big three, right? A new coach, new defensive strategy, new plan. You got the big three, and you get let down the way we were let down last night and getting swept by the T-Wolves. It is the biggest disappointment. Might be one of the biggest disappointments in the NBA.
Ooh, I like that one there, Coach. All right, Coach, question 2. The big threes you mentioned experiment will only work moving forward when an established and experienced point guard comes to this team. Fact or Fooey?
I'm going to say Fooey on that, not because I disagree with the statement, but I think there has to be a leader. There's no leader on the team. There's no leadership, right? When Kevin Durant was asked on Saturday who the leader of the team was, he said, Frank Vogel, the coach, is a leader. It's like, no. When you're Kevin Durant, a future Hall of Famer, and someone says, who's the leader on the team? The answer is, it's me. I'm the leader, right? It's Booker. Nobody's leading. And so I agree with the point guard, but now you can't find one. There's no money to find one. You have nothing you can trade away or do to get a point guard. You've got to have one of those guys surface as a leader, and there's no leadership. We've all been on teams throughout our lives where there was a leader and you followed that guy. This team doesn't have a leader.
Fooey, why isn't it Booker then? He's been the franchise face for 9
Correct.
years. Why wouldn't he be
Correct.
that?
Correct. I don't know why. It's, some people say, well, you lead in different ways. You can be a vocal person. You can be a leader on the court. You can be a leader on the field. Crap. You got to have somebody leading the team, right? And that was Chris Paul before he was let go.
Yep.
It was Steve Nash back in the 2000s. Who's the leader on this team? Who's the guy?
It kind of reminds me, Fooey, of like Paul Goldschmidt. Remember, the guy didn't want to
Right.
be the leader, even though he kind of was the leader and it was the face of the Diamondbacks for so many years. I don't know. It's just they don't have an identity.
No, there isn't. And there's no leader. And I don't disagree with the point guard thing, but now you're stuck in salary cap heaven. So I just used that, so I didn't use the other word. You can't find an experienced point guard. So the only thing you can do is maybe look to the draft and see if there's a young kid coming out that you think might develop into one. But to me, the bigger issue is, where's the leadership on the team? Who's leading? Who's grabbing guys by the collar and saying, get your butt to work? And, Booker said last night to us after the game, it's like communication wasn't very good this year. Well, who's responsible for that?
Exactly. Look, it's not Durant. Durant didn't lead when he was at OKC. That's why he left and went to Golden State. And he didn't have to lead there. He just had to be a great basketball player. And you saw the disaster that took place in Brooklyn, the disaster that takes place with the Suns. All right, here we go. Number 3, lack of Suns' commitment to defense and its high turnover rate proves there's a disconnect with head coach Frank Vogel's defense. Frank, fact or phooey?
Well, fact. Listen, defense, what is that? Vogel's the defensive guru?
The guru.
Do they play defense?
No.
They had the worst differential in the NBA in the fourth quarter. They turned the ball over more than any other team, I think. Their bench was terrible. I mean, where does it start and end? I mean, obviously there's a reason why an hour before today's James Jones press conference they changed it to Wednesday with Matt Ishbia, right? What does that mean? You can read all kinds of things into that. Is Ishbia coming out to face the music, or are they saying we've dismissed Frank Vogel, right? And so a lot of questions surrounding that press conference Wednesday. But yeah, there was a disconnect. Things weren't clicking. And again, it just never fell into place. Now you could blame injuries, right? Because Beal didn't play, he missed 30 games or something this year. You can blame injuries that they never built chemistry, but there just was no chemistry to be built.
All right, Fooey, Suns owner Matt Ishbia will not tolerate another year like this and will see some major changes moving forward with the coaches and front office. Fact or Fooey?
Fact. I just think that's a fact. When he came in and put all his money into this thing, right? It's like playing a poker game. You put all your chips into the middle of the table and you don't win. The only thing left to do is fold. And then at that point you're pissed off, right? So now I'm angry. I'm upset that this didn't work. Yes, it's my fault, but I've got to try and fix it somehow. And he's not going to be happy with this. And we're not going to, how do you sell this? Colin was just saying here a minute ago in the sports office, how do you sell this to the fan base? We're going to roll it back with the same group?
Exactly.
Kind of like Groundhog Day, Coach.
Yep.
You
Yes,
look at
it
something
is.
like that.
Yeah.
Well, remember the last question for some positive news from the Arizona Cardinals, which is kind of an oxymoron at times.
Yeah.
The Arizona Cardinals GM Monty Ossenfort gets an overall A grade by addressing major needs in this year's NFL draft. Fact or Fooey?
Fact. Listen. Here's the best part. They didn't blow pick number 4.
Yeah.
They didn't. Right?
Hallelujah.
So true.
It was an obvious no-brainer. Don't overthink it. Don't do a deep dive on this. It is so obvious, and they didn't do that. They took Marvin Harrison Jr. Amen. Right? And so I was literally on pins and needles thinking, man, if he trades down on this thing, we're screwed. Right? And they stuck with the pick, and they took Marvin Harrison Jr., and thank goodness for doing that, Monty. Thank you, because this kid is going to be phenomenal, I think, barring injuries. He's going to be amazing, and that's what you needed. You needed a weapon offense because they had none. They had no offensive weapons. So they needed that. And then picking up Darius Robinson at 27, a sharp kid, 2 degrees from Missouri, undergraduate degree, a master's degree, 4.0 student, took his NIL money and started a charity foundation. I mean, great kid, fills the need of the defensive line. They found a cornerback, they found a linebacker, found a couple offensive linemen. So yeah, I think it was a great draft for Monty.
Coach, didn't you think that, so many of these guys go at the best available? It gets so frustrating over the years, but this is one of the first years in many, that I can recollect. You and I and Rock, we've been around for a long time, address those needs. that common sense and we talked about in the offseason.
Yeah, remember what Steve Keim used to tell us every year is your needs in April are not the same needs you're going to have in October and November. Remember that?
Never understood
and so
that, Coach. Never
yeah,
understood.
you take the best available, and so that was their thought. But I just appreciated this. That my goodness, you got a playmaker on offense now, and Kyler's got someone to throw to, and barring any injuries, that could be fun to watch.
Playoff team with this draft?
No.
Okay.
No, you don't take those guys, and yeah, they're great, but how do they transition to the NFL, right? You hope they do, and I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is as close as you can get to a great player coming out of college, but
three.
You just don't know, and you've won four games in the last 2 years each, so 8 total, 8 and 26 in the last 2 years. So I don't expect them to be a playoff team. Now they played a lot of teams close, down the stretch. So again, stay healthy. Keep things rolling. Maybe they get to 7, 8, 9 wins. That'd be awesome. Maybe you're on the cusp of a playoff.
Bowie, thank you, sir. As always, don't work too hard. It's only baseball now for a while, right? So what else we got?
Oh, everybody's hurt. So I'll be over
no.
at the hospital. Yeah, I'll be trying to interview guys at the hospital. Yeah.
Brutal.
The MASH unit.
They'll be at the infirmary. That's right.
Hey, Rock. Appreciate your text about the Kenny Dillingham piece too.
Oh yeah, thanks for bringing that up, guys. ABC 15, Craig Fouey, and your team did such a tremendous job with that piece. We talked about last week that you'd been working on it for a while, and I'm watching it in real time, and I'm texting him. This is how great, just so you know, this is what Fouey does when he's doing his sportscast. Literally, I text him as it ended, right? And within a minute, I got to thank you. So I'm like, oh, you couldn't wait to see if anybody was watching, right? But no,
I was walking off the set and I got a text.
But the fact that he gave you that access, Dillingham and Tamaro and everybody over at Arizona State, it was remarkable. It was like a ESPN 30 for 30. I thought you guys just killed it. I wish we could get more of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, listen, we put hours and hours into that with multiple cameras, and when I started looking through all the video, I was like, this is going to be a half-hour show. Like, this was 30 for 30, and we had to cut it down to under 10. But the access, like you said, coaches are paranoid people, right, just by nature, and nobody lets you in. And Kenny gave us complete access to just about everything they did, and so it was pretty sweet to go through that and spend a day with him and just see what a coach's day is like.
What was remarkable is how much he does before 7 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Manuch is still sleeping. Seriously, what he did before that, is there any chance that could be repurposed again, or how can somebody see that?
Yeah. It's online right now. I retweeted it, so if you go to my Twitter handle, you'll find it there at Fouey on Sports, and it's on abc15.com under the Sports tab. And so there's multiple ways to see it. But I can say this about Manuch when you said he's not awake yet. I can verify that he will text me, say, Friday night at about midnight or 1 saying, can you come on Monday at 2:30? And if I don't reply at 2 a.m., he texts me back Sunday morning at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Are you sure? And I'm trying to sleep, right? I'm getting these text messages from Manuch about Monday at 2:30.
Coach, I'm up and at it, man.
I'm going. And Fouey, we've been doing this for like 10 years straight. Why does he even need to text you? You know you're on every day.
Right?
Oh, he's kind of a busy dude,
like,
Rock.
My wife will say, "Oh, your text message just went up." I'm like, "Yeah, it's Manuch." It's like Friday night at 1 a.m. Right?
Oh, good stuff. Thank you, Phil.
Wake up
job again.
All right, guys. See ya.
Love you, Coach.
Yeah, that's ABC 15's great. Seriously, the piece was
I gotta check that out.
phenomenal.
I missed it.
I cannot recommend. It's not normal that I'll send a text while it's on. I literally wanted to send it before it was on, before it was over. I think it was almost. He said almost 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, it was that intense.
I gotta check that out.
Especially if you played the game, you'll be able to relate. But if you haven't, you're gonna be like, wow, that's what really goes on. It was really awesome. Hey, Fouey's brought to you today by All City Towing. Looking for a career that pays great, has incredible benefits, and All City Towing is who you need to check out. Go to the website, allcitytowing.com, and search careers. That's All City Towing, statewide service. They answer your call 24/7. allcitytowing.com. Coming up, we talk some gambling as Casey will join us. Plus, Major League Baseball plans to address its uniform fiasco. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910.
Time to clear some bonus box. Listen for your chance to win $1,000.
Dollar bills yet.
When you hear the keyword at the top of the hour, weekdays from 9 to 5, enter it at foxsports910.com to win. Sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys.
Hey, Arizona, it's your local accident attorney, Kevin Rowe from Lerner and Rowe, where there are no fees until we win your case. Speaking of win, we want to help you bank $1,000, powered by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. Interact, need a check? Call Lerner and Rowe today, 977-1900.
Investing in a high-quality misting system from Fogco will be the coolest decision you ever make for your home patio, pool area, or commercial property. Fogco, the Valley's original manufacturer of high-pressure fog systems, is one of the pioneers in the misting industry for over 35 years. Let Fogco transform your outdoor living and entertainment areas into a cool and soothing tropical showcase. If you're looking for quality, reliability, and value, get a free quote at fogco.com. That's FOGCO.com.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day.
A homeowner just like you.
Hey.
Decides to fix his roof.
Okay.
He backs up his truck, ties one end of the rope to the bumper and the other to himself.
Smart.
He's working on the backside of the roof until...
What? Wait, no.
Yes, Dad was in tow.
Ooh, was he hurt?
A few bruises and his pride.
Save yourself with State 48 Roofing, offering maintenance, repairs, and replacements. Of course, licensed, insured, and bonded. From residential to commercial. State48roofing.com.
Get ready for double the fun on the 101. Introducing the Salt River Rewards Program at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort, the Valley's newest and best. With multiple tiers and endless benefits, we've got something for everyone. Don't miss out on the excitement. Salt River Rewards, the Valley's premier player rewards program, now at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. 2 properties, 1 amazing club, offering limitless fun on the 101. Discover the best in the Valley at saltriverrewards.com.
Family Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. It's time to get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data, and you get to choose who joins your family plan starting as low as $25 a line. Does it have to be family? It can be family or people you like.
Get more lines and more savings. Switch to Straight Talk for family plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Time for the best bets, locks, and daily wager picks, courtesy of the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. Now joining the guys is CAZ Sportsbook expert Casey Walsh.
From Boston.
Exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Anything possible!
So looking forward to this. The Miami Heat closed as a 14.5-point underdog. And they upset the Boston Celtics in Game 2. A road win. Wasn't that a road win?
It was.
It matched the 3rd largest NBA playoff upset since you were born, Casey, 1991. How about Jax? When were you born, Jax?
99.
99, yeah. So, yeah, 91, 99, 91, whatever. You all right?
In the 90s.
I'm doing all right. They're still up 2-1.
Don't even start.
I mean, there's one game.
Knicks,
I mean,
Philly, I get it.
He hit 21 threes that game.
Yep. That was a great
It's
game,
all right.
though.
They'll
So
still
much
take care
fun.
of it.
So here we are, and I'm having some fun with Casey from Boston, as you heard the open. But NBA, NHL playoffs nearing the end of the first round series. 76ers Knicks, I think, has been the most entertaining so far. I don't like the outcome right now of the Knicks leading 3-1. But these games have been decided by fewer than 12 points, so it's been a lot of fun. But let's talk about the home teams having so much success.
Yeah, home teams have been doing really good. Most of the time covering the spreads. But yeah, overall, it's been pretty good for the home teams overall, especially people that are doing the money line parlays with them.
Mm-hmm. How much money did you lose on the Suns, or did you make a lot on the Suns?
He doesn't work. He doesn't own the money.
So
What do you mean? You mean the book?
The first 3 games, all we took were Suns bets.
Wow.
And then yesterday, everybody here turned against them, and they all took the Timberwolves.
Okay.
So,
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, did it finish at 1? Suns were favored by 1?
Yeah, they ended up closing at 1.
Wow.
Yep.
I thought it was interesting. Game 3 where the Suns were favored by 4.5, and they never led in that game. It was just a total debacle. They got again Minnesota going away in that game specifically. How was Friday night's game, that game, as far as that's concerned? When they were favored by 4.5.
Yeah, all Suns bets. Everybody figuring they had to win.
Right.
We're going to come back. Game 1 was still Suns bets, but game 2 and game 3, heavily action on the Suns in those games as people figured they were must wins for them. And then last night, everybody faded them.
Does the sports book right now here at CAZ have NFL odds yet? Are they published right now?
Yeah, odds to win the Super Bowl, the conferences.
I saw that with the draft. In some cases, in years past, you see a little movement. There's been no movement. Goes Kansas City, San Francisco, and the Ravens, Baltimore Ravens. But have you seen anything? Maybe any money more on, like, say, Chicago, because now they have Williams, or anything in the draft that may have moved anything, or has it been kind of status quo?
Yeah, status quo pretty much. I mean, you have your regular fans just coming in betting on their traditional teams.
Yeah.
But haven't seen anything too crazy yet.
Okay, good.
What's the status for tonight's Lakers-Denver game? Because after what you saw from the Lakers refusing to die, like the Suns just pooped the bed, what do you expect from that Laker-Denver game tonight?
So right now we have that line at 6.5.
Okay.
I tend to think that most people are going to lean more Denver, even with Jamal Murray probably out tonight. I just think Denver started really slow. They've kind of taken the series for granted. They get behind quite a bit and then make their comeback. I think they'll show a little bit more urgency tonight, not wanting to have to go back to LA for Game 6. But I suspect a lot of Denver action will come in tonight.
Yeah, remember, Lakers win those games, those first 3 games, and then Denver came back and beat them, and then the Lakers obviously must win.
Yes,
which they did, unlike the Phoenix Suns. But yeah, minus 6.5 total of 217.5 right now.
Yeah, and one of the crazy things about that game, that series as well, is if you look at minutes led, the Lakers are like 141 minutes to like Denver's 39 minutes in that.
It's crazy, absolutely crazy. And you go back to that Jamal Murray buzzer beater. Otherwise, this could be a 2-2 series.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
But it's not.
NHL, just curious with playoffs, because these games have been great. Canucks, they stunned the Predators, and I saw that the bettors were favoring Nashville like by 85-86% on the money line, and then of course Vancouver came in and won in overtime. But what is the kind of the amount of activity when it comes to NHL playoffs?
It's definitely picked up quite a bit. It gets up there quite a bit for NHL playoffs. Everybody likes to bet that. They don't really care for the regular seasons, but playoff hockey, they like it. Tons of action's been coming in on Dallas, the Stars to even that series, Panthers to close out tonight. Yesterday, actually, we did have a lot of money on Nashville in that. So that ended up turning out to be overall win for the book.
What about Boston and Toronto? And Toronto doesn't have their best player on the ice.
Come on, Jimmy. Toronto, stop. when was it? They won?
Boston.
They won their first series last year. Before that was like 95.
I know,
but no, it is crazy. Everybody loves coming in, taking Toronto, Edmonton. They love taking all these Canada teams.
Yeah,
and they haven't won a cup since I think it's 95.
Yeah, I think that's right.
95ish. Yeah, and bigger the risk, better the return, right? They just figure, hey, I'll go with the dog and see what happens. Moving forward with from the NFL draft, what did you see placed in the draft? I mean, it's obviously picks. What kind of scenarios played out? What didn't play in the NFL draft?
For us overall?
Yeah.
So we actually had a losing draft. The reason we took a big hit was we took big money on Bo Nix under 32.5.
Wow.
Other than that, I mean, a lot of it was chalk right at the beginning. You had people taking shots with Latham going 5 instead of Alt at tackle there, trying to get.
I had that. My mock had him at 5.
3.
Jimmy had Alt.
I had Alt.
At Alt, yeah. So that was one where people took shots. I mean, there was nothing in Caleb Williams. I mean, it was minus I saw one guy bet on MGM $100,000 to win $500 that he'd go number 1 overall.
Oh, wow.
How about that Drake May guy going to New England Patriots? Where'd you have that?
I mean, you knew it was either him or Daniels, right? But yeah, no, I mean May. He'll be a work in progress, but hopefully he'll get there. I think it's going to be a long time.
So now I'm curious about the Michael Penix pick by Atlanta. Was anybody on that at all that he was selected in the top 10?
No, nobody at all. The only one I heard was Oz the Mentalist, but who knows about that?
I love that guy. He's awesome.
Yeah, they said they did a thing where he picked like the 13.
Did he
the
really?
first like 13 picks?
That's
but
amazing.
He is amazing.
So now you got Drake May, your Super Bowl bound in 2 years. You give it 2 years.
probably gonna go this year.
You know, Casey, you got to be real patient now.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
I mean, you got the Dolphins, you got the Bills. God forbid the Jets are ahead of the Patriots this year, but it could happen. You never know.
The Jets have to be ahead of them defensively. I can't see. I think the Pats might get lucky to take one division game this year.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not high on them. Over under for the season's 5.5. Leans heavy towards the under minus like 150. Only team that has a better or a worse is Carolina over 4.5.
Yeah.
This football season would be a great time to go to Boston. Hang out at the bars up there, see all these massholes crying in their beer because their team is so bad.
Here it comes.
This is the time. This year is the year to go up to Boston and enjoy
From
an
Boston.
October or November and they're on a Sunday. Just hang out in the bar, maybe go up when they're playing the Jets. And just enjoy it.
Ouch, Rock. I'm looking at your starting lineup right now there, Casey Walsh. You're going to have to be real patient for a couple years as we look at that bad boy.
1 minute.
Drake May, I don't know.
Man. I don't think you have to wait that long.
Well, maybe the fourth game in, he replaces Jacoby Brissett, and they decide enough. Let's start playing the young guy. Heads up, throw him in the fire.
Yeah, and then maybe throw a little Bailey Zappi in there as well.
Oh, man. He's Casey Walsh from the CAZ Sportsbook here in Casino, Arizona. You can always bet the game. You can watch the game here in the Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. You can get paid cash. No app, right here. Cash, 3 live betting
30.
windows, 6 self-service betting kiosks, 8 screens that are dedicated to all of the betting lines. So check it out for yourself. 3-time NBA champion Scott Williams will join us. We'll go
20.
to Columbus. Steve Hellwagon from the Ohio State beat writer. He has been with them for a long time covering the team. He will join us coming up at about 2:30 as we look forward to catching up. 3:30, excuse me, from 247sports.com and Buck. That's next.
Clear.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B has been sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
Get ready for double the fun on the 101. Introducing the Salt River Rewards Program at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort, the Valley's newest and best. With multiple tiers and endless benefits, we've got something for everyone. Don't miss out on the excitement. Salt River Rewards, the Valley's premier player rewards program, now at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. 2 properties, 1 amazing club, offering limitless fun on the 101. Discover the best in the Valley at saltriverrewards.com.
A car is never just a car. Kelley Blue Book knows it's so much more than that. It's your commuting chariot, your road trip refuge, your I just need a reason to get out of the house. Your car is there for everything. And for everything car, there's Kelley Blue Book. Need a new set of wheels? Price it on Kelley Blue Book. Problem under the hood? Fix it with Kelley Blue Book. Can another car do the job better? Trade it or sell it on Kelley Blue Book. We're here mile after mile, moment after moment. Price it, fix it, trade it, sell it. KBB.com. Visit KelleyBlueBook.com to get the journey started.
A small commitment at least 1 day a week helps reduce ground-level ozone pollution and helps us all breathe easier. Avoid idling. Turn off your engine when waiting in pickup lines and drive-thrus. Commit to 1 day and help keep ozone away. Visit maricopa.gov/AQ to learn how you can help.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th, the TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
The only place you're going to find 3 10-foot screens with games on full volume in 3 separate rooms, all in the same bar.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
With dozens more big screens. You'll find every game you're looking for only at Duke's, because there's only one Duke's. Voted best sports bar by New Times.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, darts, karaoke and trivia nights. 3 huge patios on the Greenbelt, all doggy friendly.
Where Dukes? Miller and McDowell. Shots out.
Joe Brown here with Accident Law Group. If you were hurt in an accident, find us on the web at accidentlawgroup.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Broadcasting from the Raffi Law Group Studios. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD3 Phoenix. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports talk, podcasts, and music. Free never sounded so good.
Tommy Henry will get the call for the Diamondbacks in their return home for tonight's series opener with the Dodgers. They come off a 4-6 10-game road trip. The Cardinals' selection of wideout Marvin Harrison Jr. highlighted a weekend that saw them draft 12 players and sign 3 undrafted free agents. Lots of questions for the Suns heading into the offseason after their exit from the playoffs at the hands of the Timberwolves. Among those will be if Coach Frank Vogel is retained and if Kevin Durant gets signed extension. Hoops gets a commitment from Jaden Quaidance, the number 2 center of the 24 recruiting class. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter the nationwide keyword HAPPY at foxsports910.com. That's HAPPY at foxsports910.com.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For tonight, look for mostly clear skies, temperatures dipping down into the mid-60s, and then for your Tuesday starting to warm up, we'll see those low 90s with plenty of sunshine. For the Fox 10 Weather Experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B is sponsored by On Air Sports.
I'll talk to
Marketing.
Rock about it when he comes back.
To Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, broadcasting live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is a sports fan's paradise. You are locked in to Fox Sports 910, live from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In Iraq and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. on Fox Sports 910.
With the 4th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Marvin Harrison Jr.
You're hot.
wide receiver, Ohio State.
They did draft him at number 4?
Yeah, hallelujah.
Yeah, they did. Wow, I wasn't sure if that was ever going to really happen or not. I mean, there was so much dialogue going on that this was maybe not going to happen. That they were going to trade it for a bunch of picks. That did not happen.
No, I think, thank God they stood. I mean, I never had any doubt that they were not going to pick Marvin Harrison Jr., a guy that is a so-called generational receiver, home run hitter, a guy needed, outstanding hands, outstanding routes, all the above. I never felt that at any time there might have been a mutiny with Cardinal fans if that pick would not have happened or they had traded down for picks, because it's very rare you get this kind of an individual, this kind of a hybrid to come onto your team. And guys, the thing is that can be impactful right away.
Yeah.
From game one, here's a guy that's going to be able to help your team score, help your team win. And I hear so many times, I tell guys, look, you're here to, these guys are here to win. And I think what Monty Ossenford did here with this draft was, I myself gave him an A grade from addressing the needs I felt when you go through the entire draft. And then those 4 picks in the 3rd round, very valuable picks that can be used and utilized right away. I think some of the lower round guys can be guys that can make the team, special teams guys could be that depth. But when I look at this team overall, and I see two receivers who could be obviously Marvin Harrison Jr. very, very beneficial. Got two offensive linemen that can be plug and play if needed. One running back who can be an absolute home run hitter, coming out of the backfield. Then the three corners, the one safety who could be a slot corner / safety. I think we talked about this last week a little bit. Jackson reference to at some point Buda Baker's, going to be moving on, and I think that those are some things you look at. And then the two edge rushers. I mean, that's the thing I look at that, especially with Derek Thompson. You look at him as to what he can bring immediately. Again, impactful. And then the kid out of Illinois, the tight end out of Illinois, I think what he brings as far as a backup and a kid that can play. But the other thing that stands out, guys, when you look at the schools and the conferences these guys all came from, aside from the receiver at UAB, but they're Division I, is the competition.
But everybody was Division I. You the second time
that's
you
what I'm
said
saying.
that.
Division I. I'm talking about the league, the conference they came from.
I understand that, but they're all D1. You mean the level of D1?
The level of D1, yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
SEC, Big Ten?
Yeah, I mean, that's I look at is, you look at the SEC, the Big Ten, all the conferences, good competition, solid players within that competition, and that matters. And I think on top of that, I mean, even the cornerback from Rutgers, he's playing good competition every week.
He's playing Big Ten.
And I like that that's the kind of guys went after. On top of that, they're all solid citizens. Every one of them. And they talked about, that culture. And I think the impactfulness or the way that, as I mentioned, that, you look at Robinson on the defensive side, Melton as that cornerback. He's athletic. He's quick. He's proven over and over again. You look at Trey Benson, the kid out of Florida State.
I like him, Manuch.
I mean, I watch him. Wow. Yeah. I mean, I'm like, he was available, and he can bring that, with James Conner. I call it the thunder and lightning, right? Guy's big, strong guy, can come out of the backfield, catches the ball, blocks. But once he gets to the second level, guys, he's gone. And they haven't had a running back like that. Hell, I don't know. I'll think I go back to Hurst, and when he was playing with this Cardinals team. But those are some of the things you look overall. But those 4 picks in that third round are solid. There's guys that can come in right away and contribute. If not contribute, be kind of guys that can come in and learn and be depth. So I thought Monty addressed the needs, which he needed to. And there wasn't that, the best available. I mean, with the Steve Keim era and prior to that, Rod Graves era, address you need corners. Address your need of safety that's going to eventually have to replace Buda Baker. Address guys that can, here's something that needs to be conformed, that can tackle. How about
That's
that?
A plus.
That can cover and can tackle. And how about guys, if you're going to go after guys, your top conference guys that make sense in order to help your team win and move on from the standpoint of getting off the schneid for these 4-game win seasons and improve this team to try to get them, I think, in a couple of years to the next level, which is the playoffs. So that's, as I looked at this, dang, Monty, you did good. But those 4 picks in the third round, talk about getting guys of substance and guys that are needed for this team was, I thought he did a great job from that standpoint.
So on paper, you're giving him an A.
Yeah, I'm going to give him an A. I thought he addressed all the needs. I think the kind of player he went after, the quality, where they're from, their backgrounds, the experience they had. I thought he nailed it from that particular standpoint on paper. But guys, as we know, it's who knows. But I think one of the picks aside from Marvin Harrison Jr., I really like the Darius Robinson pick. I really do. Watch this young man and character aside and all that. I mean, 5 years playing the SEC at Missouri, can play inside, can play outside. Guys, he basically is a 2-in-1. He's kind of that hybrid. And I think those are, when you look at this team overall, there's a guy that can make some impactful scenarios for this team, depending whether you go 3-4 or 4-3. He can play in either one of those defensive lines. And I think that's, for a defensive coordinator, that's very good to say. He can be just as good in a 4-3 front as he can in a 34 front.
I will say this about Trey Benson. And you touched on him briefly, the running back out of Florida State. When Florida State was undefeated, I got kind of hooked on watching them because I liked watching their quarterback as well, obviously before he got hurt. But Benson was the guy that just made you go,
sure,
damn, they've really got a running back here. And I hadn't paid much attention to him this past college season until I started watching Florida State.
And Bobby Mack, who comes on every Tuesday, he had him as his number one running back in the draft.
He did.
So, I thought that Bobby Mack of the Arizona Republic, he called that out. So when it comes to value, at least on paper, to get him at in round 3, 66 overall was strong. I guess I've always said for the Cardinals as just a fan here for 20-something years is I would draft all offensive linemen. I just think that's always been an issue for this team is offensive linemen. I think they got 2. They got the guard from Illinois, and then they later, I think, they got the offensive tackle from Texas. So they've got a couple guys that, hopefully will make do, but they were lower picks.
Well, to that point, I mean, you think of, okay, you got a good solid core of linemen and backups. So these kids could be depth kids because if Will Hernandez, who pretty much goes down twice a year, you got this group of backups. These kids can be developed. You hopefully develop, but I mean, you got a kid from Illinois, you got a kid from Texas. They're moving the pile. They're blocking, and I think the one thing that I look at, you look at Monty Ossenfort coming from New England and Tennessee, and then JG coming from the Philadelphia Eagles, and Pettis coming from Cleveland and Eagles is the emphasis on the running game. They're going to emphasize, I think, with James, Connor, and then with Benson, and the other 2 backups that they have, they're going to focus on that. So I think if you got enough good, solid, committed linemen, that's going to come in need later on in the year.
I want to pass this note on with Bobby Mack. We love Bobby. He's been coming on with us for 15 years, but he had one final thought, a note when it comes to the Cards. They ended up drafting 12 players overall, but 7 within the top 90 selections overall. And with that being said, they were the first team to do that since the 91 Cowboys.
Wow.
When they used all those picks for Herschel Walker to take 7 players in the first 90. So that's been a long time. So you got to give Monty a lot of credit for that.
Well, especially getting 4 in the 3rd round. I mean, talk about quality and value and all the above. That's very rare. We see that, guys, and you see those moves being made. Matter of fact, I think that was at the 91 draft for the Cowboys. Troy Aikman was taken number 1, and then eventually get the Emmitt Smiths, the Michael Irvins, and that was, I remember them coming over to Sun Devil Stadium, Frank Cush Field, watching them take on the Cardinals. They were hammering Troy Aikman and that group of young guys that first year. And then the second year, Jimmy Johnson, the head coach, started to turn that thing around. When got the butt guts, as you mentioned, he focused on the linemen and defensive linemen. And Jimmy Johnson was one of those couple things that amazing about his drafts his first few years is linebackers that were undersized, but they're fast. Linemen that were 300 plus, but that's what he needed. Well, wait a second. It was rare you had a 300 plus lineman. He went after the big guys, and then the defensive line was the other focus of big defensive linemen, big offensive linemen, but quick and fast linebackers and quick and fast safeties who were aggressive but that could tackle. Jimmy Johnson, with those drafts, started to change the look of the National Football League as far as defensively, but he kept the look and reestablishing the Emmitt Smiths in their running game, and then went and got those core receivers in Michael Irvin. I think Hunter was the other one that was out there, and then the the tight end that played for the Cardinals for a year or 2 was at Wyoming. When he got on the map, Jimmy laid that bad boy out there perfectly for them to go win those 3 Super Bowl titles.
Hey, in about 20 minutes, we'll kind of get a behind-the-scenes look at Marvin Harrison Jr. from Steve Hellwagon. He's with BuckNuts.com, 24/7 Sports. He's been covering the Ohio State Buckeyes since '88, so he'll join us in about 20 minutes. 3-time NBA champion Scott Williams. He'll break down why the Suns were swept by Minnesota. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from Casino, Arizona, here on Fox Sports 910.
Tomorrow on the Drive, there are Suns fans that believe trading Devin Booker might be the best thing for the future of the Suns. I'll tell you why that is 100% wrong, and keeping Devin Booker is the right decision. 6:05 on the Drive, Fox Sports 910, and your free iHeartRadio app.
Valley traffic from the Valley Toyota Dealers Traffic Center.
Still working an accident through Scottsdale, northbound Loop 101. at the Chaparral off-ramp sitting in the Gore Point, new wreck in downtown Phoenix, westbound 10 just past 7th Avenue, and one on eastbound 10 near Dysart sitting off right.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save money on both. Learn more at progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Again, that's progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, historic rivalries tip off with shareable bites, and every shot you take is a game winner. All season long, you're balling with 29-degree beer, courtside seats, and scenic views. I mean, where else can you pair wall-to-wall hoops with hard-to-find whiskey? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites.
It's Gross. Join me, Bauer, and Jackson every Saturday from 11 to 1 live from the Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona for Take the Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar.
Rock for RightToyota.com. At Right Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on RightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at RightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at RightToyota.com.
Arizona's largest locally owned A-plus BBB rated towing company is All City Towing. They're always looking to add motivated and competitive team members. Do you fit the bill? If so, head on over to allcitytowing.com/careers for more information.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
Are you ready for Mother's Day? Macy's Friends and Family is going on right now. It's the perfect time to save on the perfect gift for mom with an extra 30% off designers that rarely go on sale when you use your coupon or Macy's card. And take 15% off makeup, fragrances, and more beauty favorites show love. Plus, get your Mother's Day gifts even faster when you pick up in-store or curbside. Today at Macy's. Savings off regular sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
The Suns face a multitude of questions heading into the offseason after getting bounced in the playoffs by the T-Wolves. Among those, if Coach Frank Vogel is retained and if they sign Kevin Durant to an extension. Sun Devil men's basketball received a commitment from Jaden Quaintance, the number 2 center of the 2024 recruiting class. The Kraken have fired head coach Dave Haxtell after 3 seasons at the helm and for the playoff appearance. Parity.
This is 3-time Pro Bowler LeVar Arrington. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Macy's Backstage. Mother's Day is coming up, and Macy's Backstage has amazing deals on great gifts that mom is going to love. All for $15 and under. Get low prices every day at Macy's Backstage. Find a store near you today at Macy'sBackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily.
Individually, I live and breathe it, bro. Like, I have nothing else but, like, you know, at this point in my life, I got a lot of going on outside of basketball, but what I'm mainly focused on is ball, bro. So, like, yeah, I got motivation. I love to play. I'm going to come back next year, you know, ready to hoop, you know. So, yeah, I don't think you should question that.
It's Kevin Durant after last night's loss. Asked about motivation after being swept. Scott Williams joins us, 3-time NBA champion. He's been there before. Scott, have you been swept ever in the first round in your days playing in the NBA? You played a long time.
I'll tell you what, guys. I love you guys to death, but there's about 1,000 other places I'd rather be than on the phone with you on this Monday morning to have to talk about my beloved Suns basketball, going down to a broom sweeping after 2 games, hearing my heart out chanting defense, defense for 48 minutes because that was tough to watch. It was tough to watch a team that I was so excited for the start of the season. I bought in so hard when they had the big three and they got Bradley Beal here, to never see it materialize. This is a tough one. It's a real tough one for me last night. And I bumped into James Jones kind of during the first quarter, and both of us kind of had that look of nervousness on our face, like it can't happen. It truly can't happen, and yet it did. And yes, I have been swept in the first round with the Milwaukee Bucks, and that was back when it was best 3 out of 5. And we played the first 2 games at Indiana, and Reggie Miller just absolutely torched a youngish Ray Allen, and they swept our butts right on out the playoffs.
Scott, what is it in particular you saw during the season that was not corrected in the playoffs? And the one thing I noted, we talked about many times, was this team would give up over 60 points plus many times in a half, 2 quarters combined, and then again last night in a must-win scenario, they gave over 60 plus points in the second half. So that being said, me being a Suns fan since day one when they got here, I'm in the 7th grade. What was it you had a hard time stomaching throughout the year, and then it carried over into the playoffs?
Yeah, you make a good point there about not being able to get stops. That was the hardest thing for me, I guess, watching the team, not so much this year, but a year ago, especially in that finals in the playoffs against Denver, the inability to be able to get stops. So I was most excited, in addition to the Bradley Beal, second most excited about the fact that they brought Frank Vogel in here, and he came in and talking about getting stops on the defensive side of the ball, because I couldn't score an empty gym. I was a defensive-minded player. I provided assistance on a help side defense. I thought I was pretty good on-ball defense. I was blocking shots, taking charges. All of those things that I guess help a team win that don't necessarily always show up on the stat sheet outside of rebounding. And we never got a rhythm defensively where I thought this team was a solid defensive team. And you saw what a solid defensive team can do to great offensive-minded team in the playoffs, the way Minnesota, obviously number 1 team out of all 30 in the league, ratcheted it up. And they got stops when they needed. They got steals when they needed. They got extra possessions on the offensive end for second chance points. The steals led to a lot of runaway opportunities for them. I mean, points in the paint on game 3 was, a lopsided 56-26. So those types of things are just hard to overcome when you're in a situation like the playoffs where every possession matters.
Scott Williams is our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. All right, so with what you just talked about and how good the T-Wolves are, and they are a very talented team, and you talked about their defensive prowess and also what they did offensively, the common denominator there for the T-Wolves is Mike Conley. And the veteran guy is the leader offensively and defensively on the court. Is it fair to say, Scott, that the Suns did not have that guy on the court?
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. I hate to say that because Kevin Durant's my favorite player, and I think he tries to lead by example. I think Devin Booker tries to lead by example, but one knock, I guess, when a team is struggling is you need a vocal leader. You need a no-nonsense leader. You need a kind of a sandpaper type attitude out of a guy that's going to, I don't want to say get in somebody's face, but hold somebody accountable in a way that's not always so pleasant for them. Not to say it has to be an embarrassing situation on the floor in a game in front of 17,000 fans, but it certainly needs to be done in a locker room, on a team plane, on a bus, in a film session, somewhere where you can get a player's attention or group of players' attention to let them know that this is no longer acceptable and how we're going to advance in the season. And unfortunately, I guess back in December and January and February, those types of things weren't done. And then come March and April, it was almost too late. So the Suns find themselves in a situation like they are. And I don't know where they go from here, but I know that there's got to be that situation addressed in the off season.
You hear you talk, and we go through the whole 9 yards. And the one stat I thought struck out big time was that this big three were minus 51 during this playoff series. They said that is the lowest for big three, top three players on any team in NBA history during playoffs. And so, Scott, when I throw that number at you, what does that mean when you see them get swept? Are they not on the same page? Too many cooks in the kitchen? Guys are doing their own thing? Too many one-on-ones? I mean, when you see that number, you go, that's historic when you see that number.
When you see a number like that, and I did not know that number until you just told me right now, is there like a D, all of the above? Because I think to get to such a negative plus minus, there's got to be more than one problem, right? So yeah, all of the above. And I know from my last few years in the NBA and Milwaukee, especially in Phoenix, there's no help in Denver. We had knuckleheads on that squad, so I'm not going to point to that example. But I was kind of a glue guy. I had gotten a reputation in the NBA of making guys that don't always necessarily, they're talented, but don't necessarily like one another, or they were vying for, that was kind of during that area of like, whose team is it? Is it Stephon Marbury's team? Is it Penny Hardaway's team? And there was friction amongst the guys. I got a reputation of getting guys to come together, to forget about all the other noise outside of basketball, and let's just have some fun playing the game, getting to know one another. And I don't know if it's possible for good teams to not have that guy, but I know it's certainly easier when a good team does have that guy. And I hope that they can find somebody that wants to take on that role. Whether it doesn't necessarily have to be the best player, because I certainly wasn't the best player in any of the teams that I played for, but it's got to be somebody that's willing to go out and break some bread with one dude and then another guy, and then get those two guys together. And the next thing you know, you're starting to build a team of chemistry. And that's huge, too, when it comes down to the success of a ball club.
Scott, Michael Jordan got swept. Magic Johnson got swept. It's happened to the greatest players on the planet. LeBron was on the verge of getting swept. He's got another chance tonight. However, is it just okay to say that the Minnesota Timberwolves were the much better overall team than the Suns?
No, it's not okay to just say that and accept the fact that they're going to beat you 4 straight games. And let's talk about that example with the Lakers, because the Lakers were, they were winning in those the 3 previous basketball games that they had, and they made some fatal errors, and the Nuggets were pretty damn good, and they came back and won those first 3 games. But they switched up their style of play from the first 3 games to the 4th game, and I think that's what it takes in the playoffs, and adjustments that have to be made when a team starts to figure you out and how to shut you down defensively and how to get, baskets when they need offensively. There's got to be adjustment from game to game, or, sometimes even half to half. And I don't know if the Suns were a little too one-dimensional when it came to that aspect, thinking, we'll just keep doing what we're doing, well, hopefully it'll click for us. And they played a little better last night. They competed last night, but the first couple ball games, that they really didn't. And I don't know if the Grayson Allen injury didn't allow them the flexibility to be able to make the changes necessary, but certainly there was some style adjustments that needed to be done that I didn't see drastically done enough to alter what Minnesota had to do then to try to counter those moves. And I'm not one of these guys coaching. don't want to put it on Coach Vogel, but I know those types of things have to be done to get yourself in the playoffs. And I just think that too one-dimensional to get the victory that they needed to avoid this week.
Scott, thanks, man. Have a good week. We'll catch up with you to some NBA playoffs as it gets to.
I'll tell you, I'm over here. I told them your signature aviation. I'm trying to jump on one over these jets going down the combo. I don't know if I'm coming back after the playoffs are over. So you may have to call somebody because you might get a do not disturb if you get oh man. This one hurt me hard. I was down there and having palms out and playing hard. I feel bad for and that issue because he's all in and you can't fault him for anything. So the rest of those dudes got to figure it out here.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. Scott Williams here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. We'll be right back.
This is what's trending on Fox Sports Phoenix.
Questions for the 17th of the offseason after they were ceremoniously bounced from the playoffs by Minnesota. Among those questions will be if Coach Vogel is retained and if the contract extension comes Kevin Durant's way. Henry backs into the series opener with the Dodgers. So men's basketball received a big commitment from Jaden Queens, the number 2 center of the 24 recruiting class. Cardinals' choice of wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. highlighted a weekend that saw a dozen players and some 30 undrafted free agents. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free radio app.
Parker and Sons Weather Center. All your AC, plumbing, and electric needs. Bill Parker.
For tonight, look for mostly clear skies, temperatures dipping down into the mid-60s, and then for your Tuesday starting to warm up, we'll see those low 90s with plenty of sunshine. For the Fox 10 Weather Experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save money on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Again, that's Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
In the fast lane of life, your fuel should keep up. Time to check out G2G protein bars, your ultimate grab-and-go meal replacement. Whether it's a workday, gym session, or navigating daily chaos, G2G has got you covered. Find them now at your local Costco in the refrigerated section, or explore all 8 fantastic flavors at G2GBar.com. Great tasting and packed with protein, so keep pace with life in the fast lane with G2G protein bars.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
Beat the heat with a patio misting system from Fogco. Let Fogco design the perfect misting system for your patio, pool, or leisure areas. Stay cool all summer with Fogco patio misters. Get a free quote at Fogco.com. That's FOGCO.com. Fogco, serving the Valley for over 35 years.
There's something that binds us all. The constant hunger to improve. The obsession with every detail. And the reward of a custom fitting taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by 2 words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Vans Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there. You might have thought before as a homeowner of getting a whole home water purification system installed, but maybe you didn't like the price. My friends at PlumSmart are offering 35% off all whole home water purification systems. To find out exactly how you can benefit from the whole home water purification system and get 35% off, call PlumSmart today. 480-654-8865.
Nothing from Steve.
Or go to itsjustplumsmart.com because plumbers and AC guys charge too much.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
The only
called
place
once
you're gonna
and
find
then
free
immediately hung
10-foot
up on me.
screens with games on full volume in 3 separate rooms, all in the same bar.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
With dozens more big screens. You'll find every game you're looking for only at Dukes, because there's only one Dukes. Voted best sports bar by New Times.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, darts, karaoke and trivia nights. 3 huge patios on the Greenbelt, all doggy friendly.
Dukes, Miller and McDowell. Shut up.
Mother's Day is coming up, and Macy's Backstage has amazing deals on great gifts that Mom is going to love. All for $15
All right, I gotta get
and
you in
under.
a second
Get low
now.
prices every day at Macy's Backstage.
All right,
Find a
I gotta
store
get you
near
into
you
this first.
today at Macy'sBackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily.
Back to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, broadcasting live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is a sports fan's paradise. You are locked in to Fox Sports 910, live from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Haven't talked to me since my top 30 visit.
I got you.
I love who he is. He's a great competitor, really smart guy, and I think he
You're hot.
loves to win. He really wants to win, so it's exciting to play with a quarterback like that.
Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B. As the Cardinals did the right thing at number 4, I think we all would agree. I mean, you couldn't mess that up, right? You could.
Well,
not
they could have
that
traded.
up.
Back in the day, they would have messed that up, Rock.
Yeah.
Not this.
You think?
Not this regime. I think they understand that they've got a, hopefully, generational type guy that can be impactful from day one, and can help this team win games even more so from the standpoint of right from the get go. And I never really, guys, for a second, everybody entertained the picks, this and that. I'm like, there's no way. Michael Bidwell, the owner of this team, was not going to allow this kind of a home run hitter or guy that's, a pedigree of a Hall of Fame former receiver get away. I mean, this is something fans are all excited about. Fans want to see. Fans want to see the next step of how committed the teams are. This team is in particular about moving forward. And I think that's where they're at with this. And I think that I'm like, okay, I'm not that you guarantee anything, but I think that with the circumstance surrounding it, losing your receivers and guys off, there was no home run hitter. There's no choice. You had to take this kid. This was the bell cow of receivers coming out of college this year.
What do you make of some of the people saying, well, he may not be fast enough? I always say, well, they never caught Jerry Rice, who ran 4.5 at the combine when he was playing. So from that standpoint, I'm not worried about the so-called times that Marvin Harrison was clocked at.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the performance and some of the contortionistic type catches he made.
Yeah.
Coming back, high point in the football, coming back to catches, getting both feet in bounds on a regular basis. I mean, that's Jeff Hartline, the receiver coach for Iowa State. I love that he's got a former NFL receiver that's teaching these guys how to do it the right way or make the catches. And I think those are some of the things you look at when you talk about a Marvin Harrison. But on top of that, what an outstanding individual. I mean, and I love that these guys are going after high quality character guys that love football, want to improve, want to be around, whose focus is football, but also community related. Look at Darius Robinson. This kid took his NIL money to go. I think it was a fundraising thing or for backpacks for underprivileged college students or just underprivileged students per se. So those are, when you look at the type of an individual that's going to represent you not only on the field, but off the field as well, too.
He's there.
Oh, he is here? Okay, I'm sorry. Now joining us, thanks to bucknuts.com, 24/7 Sports. Whenever we're talking Buckeyes, we got to go out to Columbus and catch up with Steve Hellwagon, who joins us now. You can follow him on Twitter at Steve Hellwagon. He joins us here on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix. Steve, you got the whole crew today. I want to throw this at you right away. Some unbelievable wide receivers have come out of Ohio State over the years. The Chris Carters, the Dave Boss, the Ted Ginn Jr., Michael Thomas. I mean, the list goes on and on, Joey Callaway. Where would you kind of compare Marvin Harrison Jr. to any of the great wide receivers that come out of the Ohio State University?
He's up there. I would say he'd be in the top 3 or 4, no question, if not at the top. And
you think about this. How do you want to rate somebody? Is it all on statistical performance? Is it on how they played in the big games? Is it all Americans? I can tell you this, nobody in the history of the draft has had more first-round wide receivers than Ohio State, now has 12. The first one was a guy by the name of Paul Warfield.
Remember him?
In the
Sure.
1960s.
Yep.
Yeah, they did. Would you believe Woody Hayes had one, and that was it? And he mostly played running back at OSU, but then they didn't have another one until Joey Galloway in 96, or 95 rather. So they've had a slew of them obviously since then. So many great players over the years. Chris Carter, not on that list because he was a supplemental draft pick. He had been declared ineligible by the NCAA and said, "The heck with it, I'm going pro." So, kind of crazy. But, he's up there. He's definitely up there. Top 3 on any list of that caliber. And, as good a person probably as he is a white.
And Steve, to that point, what would be some of the commonalities you saw Marvin Harrison Jr.? As Rock alluded to a lot of those great stars, and what are some of the things that you feel the Cardinal fans will really appreciate about this young man?
Well, he's flashy athletically and all these things, but what that doesn't kind of belies the fact that he's meticulous, and the fact, when he was first coming up, C.J. Stroud, who was the quarterback his freshman and sophomore years, called him Route Man Marv because he was a great route runner, and that's kind of how he made his bones at Ohio State, was his ability to get open against the older DBs. I mean, he sat behind Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave and Jackson Smith the Jigba his first year as a freshman. And then, Wilson and Olave did not play in the Rose Bowl. So they just put Harrison out there against Utah. And obviously it helped that Utah was playing offensive guys on defense. Let's don't discount that. But he had 3 touchdowns. That was his big coming out game. And then All-American the last 2 years, and a Biletnikoff Award winner this past year. But meticulous route runner, does the little things well. I think that for such a guy who's a specimen at 6'3" and 215, whatever it is, he just does the little things so well, and that all breeds success.
Steve, I'm real curious about his timing. We just had a quick discussion before you came on, and my point was, Jerry Rice didn't blow the doors off when he ran at the Combine, and look how that turned out. Is that the similar, saying that you would say because his time in the 40 wasn't that great?
If you have a time for him in the 40, you're ahead of me, because obviously he didn't run at the Combine or the Pro Day. Maybe he did it for Arizona. What are people saying? 4.5 probably for him?
Yeah, 4.5. Yep.
Yeah, that'd be a guess, is what I would say. And you know what? I look at it and I just say that if you're good at those little things like route running and getting in and out of your breaks and high pointing the football and doing all those other things, and you have great hands and you make, I think if we were rating Ohio State receivers on hard to make catches, he and Chris Carter would probably be 1 and 2 on that list. I mean, this is a guy where your quarterback puts it, he's going to find a way to go get it. So, and you know what? He has good game speed. I mean, when he needed to get deep, he was able to. And again, a lot of that's because he was playing alongside a lot of really other talented guys like Abuka and Smith the Jigba and different guys over the years. So I just look at it that he's going to be fine. I think it'll translate to the NFL. His success should translate to the NFL.
Well, and then he's got a receiver coach in Heartline that helped him to translate that game at the college level to the National Football League. Talk to us about how Jeff Heartland really enhanced that for him as a young receiver.
Uh-oh.
Lost him.
We lost him. All right. Well, we were up against it anyway, but appreciate him taking some time, kind of get a little brief introduction to the newest Arizona Cardinal at Marvin Harrison Jr. So we're looking forward to that. But we're out here in Casino, Arizona. One more to go. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. It's 9:10.
Valley traffic from the Valley Toyota Dealers Traffic Center.
State Route 51 southbound. This is at Shea Boulevard. We have an accident on the on-ramp off right. Also 10 westbound after 7th Avenue. Have a crash there. and a crash off left 10 eastbound near Miller Road.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered. Visit Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
There's something that binds us all. The constant hunger to improve. The obsession with every detail. And the reward of a custom fitting taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by two words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Vans Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
Is it time for an all-in-one wireless printer with tons of connectivity options? With Document Solutions of the Valley, you can buy, lease, or rent models that work off of your smartphone. Call 623-252-8282. Document Solutions of the Valley. Our service can't be copied.
You may not have any experience dealing with car wrecks, but Lerner and Rowe does. After your car wreck, you need an attorney to make sure your interests, like car repairs, medical bills, and lost wages, are protected. Finding the right attorney is actually easy. Just look for reputation, experience, and results. Lerner and Rowe has thousands of 5-star reviews, decades of experience, and we've recovered billions of dollars for our injured clients. Hurt in a wreck and need a check? Call Lerner and Rowe today.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Upper Crust Pizza and Patio Wine Bar on the southeast corner of Cave Creek and the 101. Happy hour 7 days a week, 4 to 7, with $5.50 house wines and well drinks, $4.75 drafts, plus tons of food specials. Upper Crust Pizza and Patio Wine Bar.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
If you think Taco Bell is only for late night, you are mistaken. Taco Bell is also for daytime, which is why it's introducing the new Cantina Chicken menu with new Cantina Chicken tacos, burrito, and quesadilla. And new ingredients like seasoned slow-roasted chicken, freshly prepared pico de gallo, shredded purple cabbage, and even a new avocado verde salsa packet. It's the Taco Bell for when it's not late night.
Whoa, not just late night. Try the new Cantina Chicken menu now. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations while supplies last. Contact store for participation with spares.
It's the Lerner and Rowe. One call, that's all. Call of the day. If you're looking for a full-service law firm, just make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. Lerner and Rowe, voted Arizona's best law firm.
With the 4th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver, Ohio State. 27th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Darius Robinson, defensive tackle, Missouri.
With the 43rd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Max Melton, defensive back, Rutgers. With the 66th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Trey Benson, running back, Florida State.
With the 71st pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Isaiah Adams, guard, University of Illinois.
The stuff that he's throwing. And
Cattell slams it to right. Haniger's out there, backing up, and it's over his head and off the wall. It's rolling back to center. Newman's home, and Marte, the former Mariner, makes it 3-2 Diamondbacks.
The Timberwolves complete the sweep.
They win a playoff series for the first time in 20 years.
You're hot.
Minnesota on to the second round.
There you go, a little weekend montage, a little wrap from the weekend, thanks to Lerner and Rowe. One call, that's all. By the way, on Friday, we had the Lerner and Rowe 11th annual Gives Back tournament out of McCormick Ranch. Fully sold out. I know the numbers will be coming out this week, but we hopefully, your fingers crossed, close to $1 million.
That's amazing,
That's
Rock.
awesome. All going back to the community. And what was even better, someone got a hole in one.
Wow.
On the right Toyota car hole. This guy from ABC 15, which I missed that with Craig Fooey, one of the digital guys who was playing in a foursome, hit a hole in one. We're going to probably bring him on the show in the next week or two.
Okay.
Won himself a brand new Camry.
That's nice.
Great. You always see those. You never see anybody hit them. Even though you saw Kevin Rowe hit a hole in one, and he won like a $50 gift card or something. But this guy won the car, and I asked him, I went after him, I was helping with some of the MC stuff at the end, and I said, hey, have you ever hit one before? And he's like, yeah, I've hit one before.
Like no big deal?
No, but never for,
for a car.
Yeah. And I said, well, what's your handicap? And he was a 10, which is
That's good.
It's awesome. I mean, being a 10, it's awesome, especially playing big courses. Like, if you're like a 14 or 15, you're playing in Sun Lakes. That's
exactly.
That's nothing.
Executive course.
They're all executive.
It's like playing
Honda. Yes, they are.
Sun Lakes, I'm a 10.
Yeah, of course you are, because they're all executive courses.
No. Jack's played with me. We went over to the Oakwood course.
Yeah,
it's a regular freaking course.
Yeah, but when you're playing on those forward tees,
Jimmy,
I'm not playing the forward.
How long
tees.
what are you playing?
I play the whites. At
Oakwood. What are the colors there? Because it's different Sun Lakes.
They have black, white, and then the old fart tees, and then the ladies' tees.
And you're at the old fart tees.
No, I'm not playing the old
for
fart
white
tees.
tees, it's what, 66,000 yards?
Oh, yeah. Easy.
That's an executive course,
That's
Jimmy.
executive
No,
course,
no.
How many par fives are there? How many par fives are there?
The regular.
Okay.
Yeah.
Two aside.
Yeah.
Two aside. There's four.
Two aside.
There's one par 5.
Jack, save my bacon here, will you?
No, Jack.
Jack's played it.
Remember
He played it with me.
Remember who signed your paycheck,
Oh,
Jack?
jeez, Jack. Now you got to lie.
No comment. I got sent in my payroll here for you guys. So,
you got to lie.
Yeah, but it was pretty cool. And then real quick, Saturday night, I had the fortune to go see Bill Burr.
Oh, I bet that was great.
You wouldn't appreciate it, Danny.
Why wouldn't I?
Danny Manucci, you would not have liked it. It was too dirty for you.
Was he?
You would have got up and left.
I heard he's the dirty bird.
Oh, what's great about it is he's in the middle politically. He's married to an African American, and he goes really hard on that.
Yeah.
But he goes real hard on conservatives, goes real hard on liberals.
I'm good with
he's
that.
Right in the middle.
Yep.
But boys,
he's very
dirty.
blue. Yeah, he's pretty blue.
Awesome. He's not a very good actor in movies. Yeah. I know Kevin Hart announced he's coming out here in October, I think. Yeah. But it was phenomenal. It was actually, I literally was just drenched from laughing because he was that good.
Did he get anybody in the front row? Did he pick anybody in particular?
A little bit, but just, a couple people barking,
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I had a bad experience because we had two guys that were just maybe down for me, maybe two people.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Rock always has the worst experiences at public events.
And these two guys were going off on the pregame act, the pregame guys.
Yeah.
The opening acts they were very average, but they ruined it because you could just see everybody around you looking over to them because these
loud
two guys
mouths.
were so loud.
Yeah.
Like they've been boozing all day, and then it's time for the show, and it really makes it rough. It's just like going to a sporting event.
So Coyotes game, the sports bar one time with that one Suns fan. I'm trying to recall everything. And now Bill Burr.
I'm sure there's a Cardinals game.
It's probably better. I got to stop buying good seats because there are a lot of people that have good seats,
and they feel they enabled that they can act however they want to act and be allowed.
And there's always somebody in a crowd at a comic show that's trying to kind of one up the comic.
Oh,
man.
man.
It's like, dude, come on.
Just let them do their thing and leave them alone. Guys, on State 48 Roofing, it's your call question of the day. Who is responsible for the Suns' collapse in the first round of the NBA playoffs? Go to @Roc and Manuch on Twitter. Is it head coach Frank Vogel?
No.
The Big Three?
No.
The bench?
No.
The Timberwolves?
Yes.
Well, Jimmy, that yes would be last place right now, according to the fans out there.
Those people are not paying attention.
Head coach Frank Vogel and the Big Three are tied at 38.9%. Timberwolves at 22.2%. I've ordered the big three because you guys are ultimately responsible as your team to take the lead, pretty much take that and take that ball and run. Vogel can only do so much.
That's correct.
He can only do so much. I think that's why the fans have voted out there with our poll here, because they're like, there's some shared responsibility. But I always put it on the players. You're the guys. They got to take that, make it happen. Devin Booker, you're the captain. You're supposed to be the dude. You should be leading the other two. KD, great. Bill, nowhere to be found that last game, yesterday's game. But this, quite frankly, guys, I'm putting this on D-Book. You get 49 points in the last game, consolation game, baby. Where were you the first 3 games?
How many games did the T-Wolves win this season?
More than the Suns.
A lot more. They were tied for first place.
Exactly.
In the West, tied for first with Denver and OKC. And I think people that are really hardcore Sun fans, like Manuch, were thinking that this was going to be, because they had beaten them 3 games during the regular season. Oh, we're gonna take them out. No,
I said 6.
They are a really good basketball team. You got to give T-Wolves
I know, but Jimmy,
credit.
we get it, okay? But you don't
get it.
Be swept 0-4 by a Timberwolves team?
Why not? Why not? Why are you underestimating the Timberwolves so much?
No, I'm not.
How good they are.
No, they're a damn good team. But with what they have,
they're a damn
big
good team.
3, and plus the other guys, and the so-called to
Their role players are better than the Suns.
I get it.
They are.
Obviously, they proved me in that wrong. But I thought at least one game out of 4.
No answer for Ant-Man. No answer for Cat. No answer for Rudy Gobert. And Mike Conley destroyed him the way that he controlled
1 minute.
the game.
Conley been in the league for like 30 years.
Seems
he's played
like it.
forever.
He's like 38. You know, the one thing I think we heard
great
from a lot of guys is lack of leadership. But did you watch Rudy Gobert when he got caught up on switches?
I did.
He was hammering it at Ant-Man, Cat-Man, and then Conley, a couple times they got caught off. He was calling guys out or pointing to him and saying, you need to be here or there. I didn't see any of that from the guys on the Suns about this, that. I saw that maybe one time the last 3 weeks when Devin Booker yelled at, I think it was Bill, about getting back on something. That's the last time I've seen somebody point at him and go, look, what are you doing?
Jack?
2007, Mike Conley was drafted.
20.
Wow.
Thanks. I'm glad you brought something to the show today.
Man,
baby Jack.
By the way, baseball season officially started for Arizona fans. Diamondbacks got the Dodgers tonight, so it's all D-backs for the rest of the way until August. We'll see you back here tomorrow.